So then Carnage looks at the guy and says, "Your name was the stupidest," and he killed him.
The punchline is that there's no punchline.
Goodness gracious! Oh, sorry, we didn't see you guys there. Welcome to an evening with Carnage. I'm your host, Scoot, joined always by Bradley.
Yeah,
who has his? We have our fancy skull, chocolate milk cups tonight. Skull for Carnage. For Carnage, because skulls are death, and he likes death. And we have Andrea in here tonight, and it's Andrea's birthday. Everyone, wish her happy birthday. Happy birthday, Andrea.
I was wondering why this stream was going so well. I had the chat hidden.
How's everybody tonight?
Tired, yeah. Tired. It's good.
I think there's a tired's going all around. So.
That's what's good about this. We don't have. This isn't high energy. There's no like incentive, no super chat to do push-ups, no nothing like that. We just hang out and talk comics.
Tired is the adult answer to everything. How you doing?
Hey Corey, how's that page coming?
Oh, Hollowfield got his package.
He did.
Yeah, I
he
saw
did.
it today.
Oh, I didn't see. I haven't been. I've been out in the forest all day.
Birthdays.
That's very Bear in underwear. We're gonna cry.
Bear put happy birthday from the living room.
Yeah, literally, he's just like walking
So
away.
these streams, guys, have turned into like a family get together every week. So although we have just me and Brad here, and Annie's joined us sometimes,
Fuck you, Corey.
there's a lot of family in the other room in there. So.
Destroyer mics.
Destroyer mics.
But I do like the ass kicker of cosplay. I'll take that one.
That's hilarious. Brad's already having to drop the band hammer. We have made it.
Yeah, Russian bots are
We
in.
have made it.
They ain't got nothing else.
Happy birth.
All right, how is everybody?
Birthday.
Oh.
Hey,
That
Bear's
man's Annie with two
there's Bear.
eyes.
Bear's happy birthday
And we
from
got
Bear.
our mom here too.
No, we said Amy. Yeah, I used to
Hey,
pronounce.
David Turkin.
Hey, what's up, man? How are you, David?
He just rushed in here. He's really a Turkin Raider.
All right, we'll see you guys next week. So, yeah, David, he's the one that's got the series of Carnage and Null, those sketch covers.
Very cool. Don't you have one or two
I have
more of those?
one more to do. Actually, it's Eddie Brock, and it's already laid out. I just got to finish it. So,
There's
David,
you do well,
it's coming very soon.
David Turkin carried the stream all last year.
Yeah, I know. I told him that. Yeah.
That was Matt. Hey, Matt requested Cyclops. Like, all right, we got our next stream.
Yeah. All right. So tonight, guys, I originally thought about me starting out on the couch, because if you guys were here for the evening of Cyclops, which is, by the way, our most viewed video on YouTube, that's Brad's character.
Yeah.
Brad loves everything Cyclops. Scott Summers, Slim. So he brought all the visuals. Well, this time. It's a Tuscan. Get out of here.
Okay, David, you don't have to laugh.
This time,
I'm being laughed at.
Carnage is a character that I have all the stuff for. Well, I say all the stuff. Brad actually has an issue of something that I need for Carnage.
Actually, I have the issue where he pops in, but I have the trade of where Century tears him into.
Oh, yeah.
Covered Scoot's favorite character on my birthday.
Yeah.
That's okay.
And I want to just preface this. Carnage is not my favorite. Carnage is not one of my favorite characters because he's a psychopath and a killer and a murderer. I started liking him when I was little because he was red. Red's my favorite color.
Really? That's why you like
Yeah, I mean, we mentioned that on the evening with Cyclops. I was like,
I'm going to finish my chocolate milk.
my favorite characters growing up, Reptile, the Green Ranger. I mean, like, all these characters, Yoda. All these characters are green. And then Cyclops is out here
If
just...
Cyclops ever puts on a green suit, Brad's going to orgasm.
Yeah, Cyclops just... Well, actually, he's Captain Krakoa right now, so
God,
he's
I'm
wearing
so
a greenish
behind.
suit. Can Bear not figure it out?
Tell Bear. Bear can help you.
He's he has his whole house wired.
I'm sorry, guys.
I'm being interrupted by Mr. Scoot.
Oh my god.
Mrs. Scoot.
So you're sleeping on the art.
You sleep for 5 seconds.
All right, I'll be right back. I got to fix the volume on her TV because she's very incompetent with technology. I'll be right back.
It's okay, we can carry it for...
They can,
Oh,
they can see me and my
I got a
hair now.
pin, so I'm gonna go up there and start working on this
Hey,
Carnage.
I'm coloring.
Did I don't know if I ever told you guys, like jokingly, Scoot was drawing this picture of Link years ago, and it was awesome from The Legend of Zelda.
The blue line one?
No.
Oh.
He was just drawing a picture of Link
I was
in
thinking about that
pencil.
one we were
Scoot
before.
had such a heavy hand at the time,
Oh.
and while he walked away, I drew a stick figure body on it, and he could never erase it enough to get rid of that stick figure, and he was pissed. So, I was
Scoot's art used to look inked. He had such a heavy hand.
Okay, I'm back.
Oh,
All right,
no,
so
that's
back to what we were talking about. So
ridiculous.
tonight will be the evening with Carnage. So it's not going to be as in depth as the one Brad did for Cyclops because obviously I'm going to be drawing. But
I've got some talking points as well.
Brad's got some talking points because no matter what, Brad will always be smarter than me in comics. So, but I do have some really key issues that we will show tonight because we have the Brad cam.
Oh.
And right now it's just a table and part of Brad's cups.
Yeah.
But we will be laying down comic books so that you can see them because I have some cool ones to show off. So, but before we get going, we have some show and tell. So, let's start. Basically, it's just some artwork of Carnage I've done because the love of the character is where this is coming from. And there's
Carnage
my
and
cup.
Venom are paying your bills,
Carnage
bro.
2014's coming in.
Carnage. No, I've shown old Carnages before. But I have one I've never shown. But we're gonna start with a couple that I'm sure most of you have seen, but we're gonna put them up anyway because this is the Carnage episode, and I love drawing Carnage. So here's the first one. This is a Ryan Stegman homage. This was actually a commission that I had on a sketch cover, and this is one of the first things Mr. Corey King inked for me, without my permission, I think. And then John Iker, the wizard himself, when he was still coloring and not, living out his human fantasies. When he used to color, he colored this one up. So this is a really cool one. We'll turn this into a print for when we start getting back to conventions. So that should be pretty cool. And then a couple years ago, I did this one. This will be a print as well. This one was not inked by Corey. This colored version was inked by Matt Seaborn.
Oh,
I have
So.
started coloring that thing, and I hate you because
Yep,
of
you
it.
can see Seaborn right there in the corner.
that rubble seems like it's right up Corey's alley, though.
Corey
All
loves
those
rubble.
rocks, yeah.
He loves rubble and rocks. So yes, we have this Carnage, which will be a print as well. And then this one,
That one.
The original.
the original.
reason
This is the
Sue-
reason that anybody knows who I am.
You're not wrong.
Yeah,
Jesus Christ.
it really is. This is the main reason people found my art page because when I posted the pencils for this, Ryan Stegman, Donnie Cates, JP Mayer, they all retweeted it and put comments on it and stuff. So this is the first piece of art I ever collaborated on anybody with because Matt Seaborn, this is when he was first starting out. He inked this. Oh yeah, you do own the originals of that Carnage. I forgot.
It owns everything.
Yeah, he's a big supporter. Thanks, man. So yeah, this one was again colored by or inked by Matt Seaborn and colored by Daniel Erm. So if you guys aren't following him, you need to do yourself a favor and go follow him. So yeah,
God, Aaron said the first thing he inked. You inked Absolute Carnage. What a
yeah, he is first thing he
man,
inked.
never heard start small.
Did you hate
Dude.
yourself when
This
you
is
were
my
done?
first day running.
And this is I have the originals of these still, the pencils, and that's probably one I won't get rid of.
Yeah, they're up there, right?
You
They're
should
framed right over here next to a Carnage statue.
We showed it off last week.
But we will also be giving away a print of this episode. A print of this one right here. We printed 100 of them, and we've probably sold about 70 or 75 of them. So
Yeah,
I
I think
99.
I was going to say I have 100 and Scoot has number 1.
yeah, I have number 1.
I think I have 99.
Yeah, yep.
I actually
and,
got a print when we send him his
yep.
stuff with Ghost Rider.
So
and all that.
when we do this giveaway, I realize some people have been following me that are in the chat probably already have it. So if you have it and you win it and you want to pass it on to the next person, cool. Or if you want another one, you can claim
If
that
you want to
too.
be
So,
greedy, that's fine.
but this will be one of the prints we're going to give away. And then we'll talk about giveaways in just a second. So,
That's what
but
everybody's here for, too.
yep, we're gonna. I know that's why everybody's here.
Did he ink the business card? What it is?
He sure did. Corey's he inks everything.
Yes.
So real quick, again, I wanted to talk about my my love for Carnage and stuff that I've collected. This is my current comic book wall, and you'll see these up here that are missing because that's Carnage keys that I have down here to show on the camera. But that whole middle row is the whole Maximum Carnage single issue series.
Was it like 12 issues?
That's 14. It's 14 issues. And that first, the Spider-Man Unlimited, that first one is starting to get hot because it's the first appearance of Shriek. I don't know why it's getting hot, but and then it's got a Carnage Marvel Legends next to it up there on a shelf. But Mrs. Scoot actually got me this whole series for Christmas one year. And now if you try to buy it, it's really expensive. Everything Carnage now is really expensive. So this is, and then you can kind of see on the first comic on the bottom row is a Bagley variant for Minimum Carnage that Brad got me. So
yeah, it's a homage to Maximum Carnage. Because he did 2 variants for that. It was super cool.
Yep. So
he homaged himself.
There we go.
Well, when you're Bagley, you can do that.
So that's the current comic wall. Again, those comics that are missing, that's why that bare spot is because I have them down here, and we're going to show them up on the Brad cam. So real quick, the picture that I'm going to be drawing tonight is going to be after Bagley because no one draws Carnage like Bagley. No one ever will draw Carnage like Bagley.
You can try.
But probably my favorite like image of Carnage is from issue 363. It's in his first little arc, and he basically emerges from this rubble, and his tendrils are just buck wild. So this is the picture right here, and I love this image so much. So much so that Little Scoot drew this, and I put it on the front of my portfolio for our trading cards. Because we collected all the trading cards, which I still have. And here it is right here. I still have this. I took a picture. Actually took this picture today. You can see in the corner down here, it says by Daniel Starnes. And really impressive cursive for however old I was here.
God, I mean, you
maybe
I don't know.
4th grade?
Yeah. Because I
8 or 9?
Yeah.
Somewhere in there?
Because I owned the original first 3 appearances of Carnage when I was little. I read them so much the covers fell off of them.
Yeah.
We had some love
but
comics.
Drew this, and then tonight I will be drawing it again. So, but of course it'll be a little bit different because nowadays I'm not just a straight ripper. I'm a.
The thing you'll notice
like
about
20 plus years of
the thing you'll notice about that 9-year-old piece is I allowed him to ink his own work.
Yeah, that's before Brad had a lot of control and power over me.
Probably inked with one of those fountain pens that we had.
Don't let him fool you. I was just as much of a forceful asshole, just with a higher voice.
So real quick before I get into drawing,
You were tiny, man.
the giveaways tonight. There will be 3 giveaways. The first one, well, I'll say the first one. There won't be in any particular order. But I do have a print that I just showed you. We're going to give that away. I bought today. I went to the comic shop and I picked up the Carnage Forever that just came out on Wednesday, celebrating the 30 years of Carnage.
That's why we're doing this. If you didn't know, he turned 30.
Oh
this
yeah,
year,
yeah.
which,
I guess that's the reason why we're doing this. Cause
also, because it's his 30th anniversary, that means it's Spidey's 60th.
good lord,
Yeah,
crazy.
He's only 9 years younger than me.
But actually, let me bring up the Brad cam right here. You can lay that down and show it.
Uh-oh. Vanna Whited, boy.
So I bought this Carnage Forever, and I did a Carnage remark. And look at that, it's got colors because I found a red Sharpie. So yeah, it's got a remark on that. So we'll be giving this away today as well. Nope, stay over there, Russell. So this will be one of the things we're giving away. And then the other thing that we'll be giving away, spoiler alert, I'm not giving away this big picture I'm drawing because it's full body, and y'all gonna have to cough up some money if you want this one.
yeah.
But
I think we're gonna sell it to charity, the Scoot Starnes Fund.
yeah.
Of America.
The Pay Scoot Starnes Bill Fund.
The Angels of Scoot Starnes Fund cure.
Yeah, we need that.
Cure the
Cure bank account cancer.
But no, Sophie, you go over there. So what we're going to do?
oh, Sophie.
What I'm going to start out with is a head sketch of Carnage. It's going to be a 10-minute head sketch that I will be giving away. So we're going to start this off with a 10-minute head sketch, and these dogs are unruly right now. My God. All right, so we're going to start out with a 10-minute head sketch, and then we will give it away. But you have to be, again, present in the chat to win any of this stuff. It is excluded to family. Family's excluded. Sorry, fam. But you can get whatever you want from me at any time. So we're gonna get going here. And I have the stuff up here telling you how to win at the top. But basically, if you want to win, again, you just put a comment in the chat.
Ooh. Do I have to do it?
Yeah.
Notes, and I can start throwing. Cool. Thanks, Holmes. Oh my God, there are three giveaways tonight, and Aaron's gonna be in the chat. Oh God,
3 giveaways, and Aaron's not gonna win any of them.
my bank is crying.
I think at this point you owe Aaron something.
So I don't. You guys have a timer? We're gonna time this 10 minutes.
I think. Yeah, 9:27. You'll need to, or 7:27. Fun thing, Aaron. Scoot and I are working with someone in your neck of the woods, and so we're planning a stream here in the next couple of months. And because we're planning with someone in the UK, we're probably going to hold it about noon our time, so it'll be like 6 o'clock, and you're not going to know what to do not being awake at 3 a.m.
Stay up all night.
Bear said he's going to win before Aaron. He can't win, and then somehow he does. But yeah, it's something we haven't ironed out the details completely, but it's kind of a collaboration with some people we like, especially me. I'm a big fan. And we're going to.
I need to check out more of their stuff.
Yeah, and
I know who.
Yeah, so we're gonna try to do something with our English cousins, like the opposite of our American cousin, where Lincoln got shot.
Yeah, we're not killing anyone.
And then we'll have a fun little setup there, and hopefully I don't know. I would be surprised. It's gonna be one. We'll do it at a more reasonable time for them, and then. 2, it'll be fun to see how many viewers we get, because like if we do it at 12 and suddenly we've got 200 viewers, then we're doing it that time all the time.
Yeah.
We're gonna get this thing monetized.
It probably is who you think it is, Aaron. They're doing some cool stuff over there with their comics, and they're actually a huge inspiration to me. But we'll talk about that later. But
you can.
What about going 2 minutes?
Fanboy. Over.
Yeah, you're not even at 2.
All right, Brad,
minutes.
don't yell at me.
It's a symbiote, so.
Like, is the pin coming out?
Did you see me kick my computer out of the way?
Resident stream is over.
I know we should be talking about Carnage, but I'm so into this. Like, I'm just gonna. During the 10 minutes, we'll just talk about random stuff.
That's fine. Yeah, I got key issues that I want to show, and stuff I want to talk about. But when I get into drawing, I basically just want to.
Brad should be drawing the pictures this week.
I was almost going to say, hey, well, if you want to finish a Carnage picture, there's always the charity piece.
Yeah.
But that's become the new Sinister Sauron, and we're tired of seeing it. So no drawing that today.
Once it's all done, you're not gonna be tired of seeing it.
No, not at all.
It'll be amazing, like Spider-Man.
And I don't know if I told you guys, we were talking about doing that. That was for our comic shop, our local comic shop, and I was talking to the owner, Jason. And he said, hey, I really appreciate you guys doing this, but, I don't know if I'm going to accept the money. And I was like, what are you talking about, man? We're just doing it to, help you out. You've helped us out our whole lives. That guy did way more than he ever should have.
He supported our childhood.
Yeah, and stuff when we were a kid, we're just like, oh, man, we magically had enough allowance to buy these 12 comics. And looking back, we did not. But he just said, well, I'm doing great, which is
fantastic.
Fantastic.
It's awesome for him.
Wonderful.
Awesome.
That's
He's
exactly
such a good
what.
dude.
That's exactly what we want to hear,
He
because
deserves it.
we want his shop to thrive. I definitely give him enough money.
I used to. It's been a little while. I need to
So I talked to him, but we're still going to do it for charity, and we're probably going to do something. He said we'll still auction it for charity, and then I'm going to match part of it, then he's going to match part of it, and we're going to do a donation probably to St. Jude, which, you don't know St. Jude, the big company, or a big, I don't want to call it a company. Yeah, it's a big hospital,
children's
big
hospital.
nonprofit. They
Mostly
do
cancer
a lot.
research.
Yeah, mostly cancer research. Great stuff around
It
here.
is one of the places while Chadwick Boseman was suffering through his cancer, he visited the kids there to make them happy.
He came here to Memphis?
Yes. He
Son
was,
of a bitch!
he was at St. Jude.
How did I
visiting
miss
kids.
King T'Challa?
Oh, I'm so mad because normally they invite us to do cosplay stuff there. I'm like, y'all didn't invite us the day the Black Panther was there? I'm like, come on.
I would have cosplayed a fan of T'Challa.
Yeah.
Y'all, I probably would have just latched on and y'all never, I would have been in jail because y'all would be like, well, our sister latched on Chadwick Boseman and did some things he probably shouldn't have.
Hayashi he said, Aaron's the Toronto Maple Leafs of the chat, always losing out on the prize.
That's a sports reference.
Oh, he said, Aaron's got some news, so hopefully he drops it on us soon.
Nice.
Yeah, he'd mentioned he had some news, but wanted to wait and share it.
Drop it here.
We're among friends.
Now we're all waiting silently.
What are we, what time are we at?
You've got 6 minutes.
Oh, good.
Yeah, because it's 7:27. Dude, did you watch Venom 2 in preparation for this?
So, I meant to mention that at the top. I have not watched it because being a big fan of
I haven't
Carnage,
even watched the first one.
I am terrified to watch that.
I've heard nothing but bad things.
Well, once again, like what you like. Because I know Hayashi, for one, not to put him on the spot, he enjoyed the first and second movie.
God, you do get out of here.
Y'all told me about
Don't do that. He's our biggest fan.
Yeah.
Y'all told me about the first one, and I have never been able to bring myself to watch it because
It's,
I trust y'all's opinion on comic stuff. 'Cause
It's
y'all like what I like most.
but yeah,
When I
just,
heard Venom talking at that little clip in No Way Home, I literally looked over at Brad and said, "Is that actually his voice, or are they making fun of him?" He's like, "No, that's the voice."
and I always, I love the kind of like how we talked about last week, how I love that Benedict Cumberbatch played Dormammu
yeah,
in addition to playing Doctor Strange, of course.
he did it well.
It's cool. It's got this kind of fun, like meta feel to it.
Yeah,
And I kind of like that Tom Hardy did the voice of Venom. It's got this, cyclical nature that feeds back into itself. But he sounds like when we were kids and we would talk through a burp into a fan. And we're
Yeah.
like,
How accurate is
and
that?
that's exactly what it sounds like to me. And I mean, we all imagine Venom. Well, I guess I always imagine like, I'm gonna eat your brains from the toy.
Oh, yeah, hell yeah.
But,
and some of the stuff from like the cartoons and things.
yeah, and Aaron said, "Well, I've been working my ass off for a few years now, but I've got myself a job."
Wow, you went Southern
That
Hell.
was
You went
rough.
American Southern, son.
Yeah, and he said full time doing 3D media, super cool.
Nice.
Very awesome.
Good job, man.
Bravo, sir.
Congratulations.
Yeah, man, that is super cool.
Doing your dreams.
Same thing with like Iker. I wish Iker had just. Part of me wishes he had failed tremendously at his job and would still be coloring everything for us.
But you're happy.
But-
for him.
He got his dream job, so in actuality, I'm really happy for him. Corey, just suffer and keep inking for us.
Yeah.
Raise children in ink. That's all I want you to do.
So yeah, it's
The things you're good at.
and I don't know if we're ready to announce it yet, but we do have we've locked in a colorist again. Finally, we had a bit of a tryout period, and we got all the tryouts in, and we selected a winner.
Sure did.
That makes it sound like it was a
A contest.
but we reached out to a few people.
Congratulations, you get to work with us.
No, we are paying them.
Yeah.
Let me back that. The CFO is paying them. Me.
But you won by what you got coming.
Yeah, and it's not. Once again, I paid Scoot for the pages. Corey, I've tried to pay several times and he hasn't. I'm trying to make it to where the only person who doesn't get paid on this book is me. And I don't know. They're gonna at least do this with us. Hopefully they'll stick around. 3 minutes, Scoot, and
We got this.
And keep working and
yeah,
stay on the team.
and maybe
Because
they'll
I
hang
will
around.
never be a colorist. I do it for fun.
And there's nothing wrong with that for sure.
No,
Absolutely.
like I used
Having
to want-
hobbies is cool too.
Like I literally used to want to either be an inker or a colorist for comics, but that's not where my
Nothing wrong
real
with-
drive
Yeah.
is.
Corey wants to be an inker, so it can't be that hard.
Yeah. I don't know.
I live on the whole chasing Amy thing, and where everybody just says it's tracers, and I get very angry about it. And
But
it is not just tracers.
I'm gonna tell some story. So I ran into some. I went to a local comic shop, and I didn't get quite the reception of Scoot. Apparently, they threw rose petals on the ground when he walked in today.
They wrote hymns.
Poppers were going off. Yeah, spotlights. It was weird. But I went in, and there was a guy who I knew from the comic creator group that I helped run for about a year before
I
it
went to a
buckled.
few of those.
But he had told me he was an artist, and he was a pretty good artist. He struggled finishing stuff sometimes. Great artist, a huge fan of John Gerard of Mobius, so I like talking to him. Really dynamic artwork. And last time I'd seen him, I asked him, hey, have you been working on art? And he said, I'm kind of busy. And my advice was, because he's probably early 20s. I was like, dude, it does not get any. You don't get more free time as time goes on. So don't be like me trying to do this shit in your 30s. And then I went back in there last time and I was talking to him, and he said, I asked him again, how's the art going? He said, oh man, I haven't had as much time, so I've been focusing on writing instead. And I was like, like it's easier. Like, but then before I was about to be like, I was mounting my high horse. I was one leg, I had a hold of the reins, had the saddle horn in my hand, and my left leg or right leg was going over because you mount from the left.
He's ridden horses, yes.
I was throwing my leg over, and then he goes,
All right, we're done.
man,
Is that 10 minutes?
you got one more minute.
One more. Oh, I got my name.
And I was like, all right, well, this guy. And then he goes, hey, can I get your email and send you some scripts and get your feedback and maybe you edit it for me? And I was like, I am the writer of Memphis.
You really are.
Not really, but
I mean,
oh god, I should be writing names down.
A lot of them hit you up for advice, especially the younger crew. Like I say, look at you as the experienced guy.
All right, so here we are, guys. 10-minute head sketch of Carnage.
It's funny because writers are dime a dozen compared to artists, but for some reason nobody around here writes.
Not in Memphis.
So again,
We
we're
have a
gonna
bunch
be
of artists
we're gonna be giving this away right now.
We let Scoop touch something that wasn't a pencil.
So if you want to be entered in this, go ahead and leave a
Better let us
comment.
know.
Yeah,
Let me know.
I'm getting you guys. I misspelled Aaron's name, so it disqualifies him.
Yeah. And I came in 9 minutes. How about that?
Could have added like 10
I could draw
details.
Carnage in my sleep. Well, on his head, like you can't get too crazy or it starts getting all jumbled. So
That's a cool fucking sketch, though.
Unlike hair.
Yeah.
You and hair.
Aaron, you love that head sketch. I bet you do.
Aaron's like, please let me win something.
yeah, I don't think any of my art's ever gonna hit the UK.
All right, 12 folks in here. I'm getting
You
names.
sent anything over there?
Who?
I have, just not to Aaron.
I was gonna say, I know you sent
We've got a UK boys care package coming together. Everybody, if you're in the chat, sign off.
Yep, we're gonna give this away in 2 minutes.
I'm just writing names down.
They don't know
I
that
was-
UK care package isn't going to Aaron, it's just going to Max.
Actually, we're gonna give it a little bit longer than that. I'm gonna put out a post real quick.
For some people who do it at just say it like 7:35, and throw it on the Brad cam and just start your other picture.
Oh, there you go. Here you go.
This is not as easy as it looks.
Would you like me to help you with that since you've got the computer? I can move a little easier than you can.
Oh, it's okay.
Okay.
I like the way you move it.
I can help. I'm just sitting here
Yeah.
casually coloring a Michael Turner drawing.
That's okay. Your presence is enough.
Aw, thank you.
How
My
okay.
presence is my birthday present to you, I guess. Something.
My favorite patient. Playing patience.
So while we're waiting here, I'm just gonna kind of talk about a key issue that I have. The first key issue, which is probably the most, well, I'll say the most important. It is one of the biggest. I'll say one of the most important key issues we have is issue number 344 of the Amazing Spider-Man.
I got you.
Yeah.
Issue number 344 of the Amazing Spider-Man. This is the first appearance of Cletus Kasady. If you've never read it, he was basically in the jail cell. Was it Rikers? I think it's Rikers. I think it's
Was it
Rikers.
not Ravencroft?
He got put in Ravencroft after the Carnage fight.
Oh, see, I didn't know. I just know that's basically
Yeah.
Carnage's psycho ward.
So he was in Eddie Brock's cell with him, and he was actually going to kill Eddie Brock because that's what he does. That's what Carnage does. But then, good Lord.
How Carnage with the comics got made?
I question that too because there's some brutal
Was
stuff.
the comic code around still?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
They were getting super lax by that point.
I mean, they were getting lax, but it was still, it's one of the reasons Image became.
I'm gonna post this up on Twitter real quick.
Should have these locked and loaded.
Yeah, I know.
How unprofessional. It's not a big pool up here right now. I see 12 people in the chat now. 2 or 3 of them are us, but... Oh, Aaron's disqualified. Matt said that they were devastated together, and he said the one with the wrecking ball testes from Michael Bay. So
Oh, come on.
take his name right out of this pile. That's actually John Hayes, so let's not do that.
Don't take it.
So, yeah, back to this issue. So Cletus was going to kill Eddie Brock, but Eddie Brock was saved. The Venom symbiote saved the day.
And and had a baby.
Basically. So that issue, basically, that's the only thing that really happens in it. I mean, it's a first appearance of Cardiac, I think, too, but...
Hey, Cardiac's cool. He runs an underground hospital.
Okay, good for him. So...
Him and Spidey have a shaky friendship.
Next issue I have, this is issue number 345. Actually, let me back up. So, Cletus Kasady was created by Eric Larson and... Oh, God, what's the writer's name? I can't remember the writer's name. I'm an art guy. But yes, Eric Larson drew that issue. Eric Larson drew this issue, which is Amazing Spider-Man 345. The only thing that happens in that issue that's related to Carnage is Eddie Brock breaks out of jail thanks to Venom, and they leave back a little drop of symbiote, and that finds its way into Cletus Kasady's bloodstream.
Is that
And
the panel where it hits his arm and he's like kind of reeling?
the only thing you see is it dripping off a piece of rebar. That's it.
Okay,
That is
okay.
it. That is absolutely it. And then let's just see before we move forward. Let's just leave that one there. Put the art back on top
Okay.
so people can see what they're about to try to win.
Yeah. Oh, please put them somewhere dogs can't get
Yes.
to.
Put them on top.
Okay.
There's nothing key there. So
That's your new Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
Your new old Doctor Strange books.
all right, guys, one more minute. We'll give this thing away.
One moment.
Oh, did you give him like a 2-minute countdown or something?
We're just
Oh, the stream's gonna be happy. You were good lord.
Old ones from the last one.
Yeah, we'll just keep throwing people's names back in here. Are we doing double wins tonight, or is if you win, you're out?
should you be able to win double wins,
Aaron out of a win.
or
I'm
should
just saying, like, well, no. If Aaron doesn't win the first one, he's more likely to win the second one.
that's true?
You don't put the other name back in.
We'll give away like some candy or something. He may win that.
Oh my god!
Just
Give away a sketch I do. Here's
Yeah.
the post-it note. Venom
We
I
should
do.
have done it. You guys want to see Brad draw Carnage?
No, they don't. We're not ready.
You don't even want to see me. I'll stick to colors.
We'll bring us back up real quick
Always
so you
say
can see
all
a
I do
bigger
is draw
picture of
attention to
that.
myself.
Not a bad thing.
Oh, no.
All right. Hey, Ashley, you want to come draw
You're a
this?
very confident human. I appreciate it.
Try to get Mrs. Scoot in here to draw because she's always the one that draws.
Maybe that's why Aaron's not.
Draws names.
She has something against Aaron. I don't think so. They're there talking.
Do
They're
we
having
let
girl talk.
Ann pull?
Y'all are having girl talk.
That's
All
the
right,
one
guys.
time that Housen's heard that.
Oh,
Bart.
Abby.
Yo.
Okay, guys.
Hold on, I'm sorry. Sophie, go. No, Abby, Sophie, go.
The
Real life Scoot Star.
the real life, it's chaotic. Almost. No, never mind. Nowhere near as close as Corey's.
No.
So let me pull down the Brad cam. All right, we're gonna draw this Captain America right there. You're just looking at yourself. All right, she's gonna pull a name out. Let's see. Mrs. Scoot hates me. Confirmed.
It must be.
All right.
There's a lot of people in the living room, so it's hard to hear.
I
Everybody's
know.
over here today for birthday.
Everybody, give a
They're
shout.
all here for
Give a
the-
shout out to
Getting here
Mrs.
for the
Scoot.
stream.
They are. They're all here for
Pulling the name.
Carnage. They're all here for
I'm
Carnage
pulling just one.
Yeah.
right now.
Oh,
Oh, sorry.
That's what we're giving away right there.
She doesn't care.
Is this Jose?
what's he?
Hey!
Jose?
Alvarado?
You still in the chat?
Jose, you still in the chat? Jose Alvarado, you still out there, man?
He's getting to.
And Aaron, we know it's not your alternate name. We know that's not you.
Oh, Jose, he's in the chat. Yeah.
Jose wins again.
Yay.
Congrats,
What did you
Jose.
win again? What
I
did you win? What did you win in the past?
Was he
Let
one
us
of-
know.
Was he
Let
one
us
of the
know.
winners?
No,
wins again in this.
Hallowfield won last week. Okay,
Jose, congrats.
Jose, congrats, man. That 10-minute head sketch will come to
Are
you.
you gonna call me when the other?
Yep.
Okay, I'll be back.
Take
Bye,
those
guys.
boxes out because they're gonna keep falling if you shut the door. All right, so let's bring up the main. I win. Good job. Thanks, Jose. We appreciate it.
Yeah.
Now we're gonna move on to the main event. Jose, if you want to send me a DM on Instagram or Twitter, whichever you want, and give me your info, or if you want to email me, you can email me at scootsart.com.
Yep.
scootsart@gmail.com.
Scootsart.
Not just scootsart.com.
Scootsart.geocities.com.
Oh,
Angelfire.com.
Um,
Yeah, give me your
Emily.
address and stuff, and we'll.
how about we at 8:00 we'll do another draw.
Okay, at 8:00 we'll draw for the print. Well, I'm gonna get going on this because this is gonna be a monster.
Might get a
literal.
cardboard Spidey out of that too.
Yeah, you will.
Ow. Ryan, I'll throw you in the for the next one. We said we're doing
Yeah, we're doing 3 giveaways, Ryan. We just gave away I opened this with a 10-minute Carnage head sketch,
which is still up on the Brad cam.
which you can still see right there. And I did the rare inks on it. I don't ink much except usually cardboard Spideys.
Jose, where do you live? Like generally, I mean, don't post your full address, but where do you live generally? I'm just kind of getting sad. I just want to know.
Just kind of idea.
Ryan, since you just came in, we're also going to be giving this away. This is a print that I did of an Absolute Carnage piece that I drew, inked by Matt Seaborn and colored by Daniel Erm. We did a print run of 100 on these, so I'm going to be giving one of these away at 8:00.
Ryan threw some change in the chat for you.
Hell yeah. He's one of the guys from the, he's always in the Stegman.
Oh, okay, sweet. We
Streams.
throw OIOs in here too. Very cool. I keep missing, even though Stegman's chats are like their streams are always at the best possible times. And Scoot and Corey will be talking about it in our DM chat. I'm just like 4 hours later, I'm like, oh whoops. I missed it again.
I don't
Okay.
get to see many of them live.
Jose lives in Florida.
That's not
Thank the
bad.
maker.
Cool.
Not a bad place.
So-
Jose, Matt said Jose lives with him.
But thanks again, Jose, for the support. I appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
So again, this picture that I'm drawing right here is going to be a full body,
And just sell it.
and this will be for sale. Yeah, because
Maybe
I'm not
we should
giving
try
this
bidding
away.
it, just do a bid for it or something. See how high you can get it.
Hey, if you this is 11 by 17, it'll be full body. Hey, if you want to throw out a bid for it right now, we'll consider it.
Where's my phone?
But you said you had some talking points, Brad. Some Carnage talking points.
I think it's in the other room. Yeah, so I did, of course, if you remember an evening with Cyclops, when we all had our suits on and we had a great evening with a great character, I had a thesis. My thesis was that Cyclops had always been cool. And it's a thing where I think it comes and goes, and I think you, especially with a character when they have so much history, sometimes you can lose the core of the character. And I think the core of Carnage comes down to 2 things. And I think that sometimes people's lost sight of them. Granted, in the last couple of years, it's come back. But they've forgotten that Carnage is powerful and Carnage is scary.
Mm-hmm.
And there's some stuff in there, some in-between stuff that we can talk about to where he wasn't. He was more of a plot device for several events. And even one I really enjoy, Minimum Carnage, he was more of a plot device than he was an actual character. There was some interesting stuff that came about in it, but Carnage was not the main event. And I think if you look at his history, he's supposed to be scary. So similar to how my thing was, where did Cyclops become cool? And it was X-Men #1. So where Was Carnage scary? The very first time you met him.
Actually, while you're saying that, here,
Yeah.
put this one because this is issue number 360.
Comic Winch.
360 of Amazing Spider-Man.
Is this his first cameo appearance?
This is Carnage's first cameo appearance, and the reason he is scary is because he literally looked this dude's name up in the phone book to kill him because his name was stupid.
Yeah, and he found out he was like a plumber or an electrician or something. And it's just like he looked boring.
Yeah,
And he killed him. And that's to me like I think. Thank you, Raccoon's in.
hey, Sneaky Raccoon.
I think that that is, I don't know, the randomness. I always say, like, if you look at horror movies or anything that scares you, it's never like if you watch a horror movie and there's a big monster, after like the age of 10, you don't go home afraid that the monster is going to come through your door. But when you watch some thriller with people who murder, or you read about some serial killer who just like went and tried to open doors, like he just walked down a street and whoever's door opened, he walked in and killed him.
Or it's supposed to be something supernatural and it turns out to be just
And it's the humanity is more terrifying than the monster, and Carnage is, even with his superhuman aspects of the symbiote and the superpowers he gets from it, he's still scary because of his simplicity. Carnage never wanted to rule New York. Carnage never wanted to. He's not a complicated antagonist like Doom. Carnage wants to kill. He's almost the closest. I hate the comparison. He's the closest we'll get to the Joker in his randomness.
He was created to be Marvel's Joker.
Oh, see, I didn't know that. I know that I like it because he's just there to cause trouble. And even like when you get later into his background where he like lived in an orphanage and tortured people and burned it down and did all this other stuff, like Carnage is always supposed to have just been this scary personification of insanity almost. And so I love it. To me, he should always almost be the boogeyman. He should be like, when you read stuff about like the Boston Strangler or the Axeman of New Orleans. If the Axeman's in New Orleans, if you don't know that story, fucking phenomenal. Read it. Like, this dude went around killing people with axes he found, and then sent a letter to a newspaper and said, anybody playing jazz is spared. Otherwise, I'm going to kill him. Yeah, and like it's so
wild.
If he had used a gun, it's so quintessential American. It's a great story, but that's what Carnage is. Carnage is the boogeyman. Carnage is this scary entity. Like, I feel like I could talk to Dr. Doom and he wouldn't bother me because, one, I'm beneath him, but
he wouldn't bother with you.
If I had a sound enough logic, I could reason with Doom.
Right.
Carnage, you could have the most sound logic in the world, he's gonna kill you.
He's like, nah, still gonna
like,
rip your head off. It's fine.
And then like you get into Carnage and Cletus, and both of them have massive daddy issues. Carnage is, of course, being Venom.
Yeah.
And so it's this dynamic between them where they form together and they are what the other wanted. Carnage needed a host. Cletus wanted power.
And not to be confused, where when Venom and Eddie fuse, they are still two separate things. When Carnage and Cletus combined, they are one entity.
Yeah, and that's a thing I was going to point out. I had a note here. Venom, one of my favorite things is Venom always says, "We are Venom." It's awesome because it's like they're two entities working together for a common goal.
There is a true symbiotic relationship.
Carnage is almost like a messed up version of the Trinity from Christianity, where Cletus is Carnage and Carnage is Cletus. And if we can jump ahead to Extreme Carnage and Carnage Forever that just came out this week for the 30th anniversary, you'll learn that Cletus's body's been through a lot.
Yeah.
And Cletus is dead, basically.
Yeah.
But because of the codex they introduced, Cletus and Carnage are the symbiote now. There's no body of Cletus anymore, but Cletus's body's gone, but he's still alive and well in the symbiote, and what they're doing together is great. Did you finish Extreme Carnage, Scoot?
I don't think I did. I still have them all here, but
yeah, well, we'll get into that. But like, of course, Carnage had like a first 3-issue arc right before Maximum Carnage, correct?
Yeah, that's so here you go.
All right, Comic Winch.
Right here.
You can hand them to your right, Scoot.
Okay. So this is issue number 361 of Amazing Spider-Man. So this is the one if you're a Carnage person, this is the book you're looking for. This is the
I love that.
quote unquote first appearance of Carnage because it's the first full appearance of him.
Yeah.
It's the first cover debut of him.
I remember the most.
This book is literally $100 plus book now. I got it for $9.
Yeah, and
Back in the day.
He's gonna rub that in.
so short aside, where there's a lot of comic fans who will argue what's a character's first appearance. Is it the cameo at the end of the one issue, or is it the first full appearance? I'm a cameo person. Like, Wolverine's first appearance is not like Hulk 183 or whatever. It's
181.
It's 180, where he pops up in the last panel.
He's full bodied in that panel.
Yeah, but I mean, like, even Venom, of course, gets the shadow at the end of his first appearance, and then you get the first full appearance. The same thing happens with Archangel. The book you have is his first full body appearance.
Yeah.
But that's neither here nor there. But
He's trying to downplay my full issue of Archangel up there.
I think what they did was masterful because they introduced Carnage and he comes in, and at this time, Spidey and Venom did not get along.
Oh, they hated each other.
Venom was kind of the lethal protector already, but he was still very much a villain. Of course, this is the dark age of comics, not because it was a time of loss of knowledge or anything like the human dark ages, but because the villains were in control. That's when Magneto got his own solo series. You had Venom coming out. You had like Spawn, all the stuff where we're getting these characters who
either villains or anti-heroes.
Yeah, so it was a lot of that stuff, which is interesting. It's a fun time. 90s. I mean, the teenage angst paid off well, and we got cool villains out of it.
Yeah.
And so it was perfect timing, but. So when Carnage first shows up and Venom and Spidey team up, it was just like...
At that time, Venom was on the island that Spidey left him on because he thought he had killed him. So
yeah, which Kate's great revisit to that.
Yeah, it was.
Very cool.
Plus having Bagley back.
Oh, yeah. Bagley did the Venom Island thing, which I still say... I'll always love Bagley's 90 artwork because it's what got me into it. I grew up on. I have key issues. I have comic issues on my wall that are on my key issue wall that are just cool. Like ones he did of Scarlet Spider.
Yeah.
So they're cool. They're key issues. Once again, you got.
But what they did is they came in and showed like Spidey. If you we've talked about it with Superior. Is one of the first things Otto does when he's in charge of Spidey's body is he punches Vulture and knocks his jaw off, and he's like, holy fuck, this guy's been pulling his punches his whole life. And like he realizes Spidey never hit him full force. Spidey hits the symbiotes full force. He has to. So like when you get into like even Renew Your Vows, the opening that's messed up where Venom is very much a villain in Renew Your Vows, and he comes for Spidey's family when Regent has all the other superheroes distracted, and Spidey's fighting him, and he's like, I've punched him 6 times and all the bones are breaking in my hand and I'm not stopping. And you're like, God damn, like dude is beating Venom to death. And
but not.
So you think about it, it's like
he's giving it his whole force.
I mean, if anybody came the closest to either revealing his identity or killing Spidey, it's probably Venom.
Yeah.
And then Carnage shows up, and I'm not a fan of the kill someone to show the new person is stronger. We talked about that. I didn't like Null killing the Sentry because it's just like, oh, he killed the Sentry, he's big and bad. I'm just like, ew, I'm not into that, and we'll get into that why in a second here. But which also I wasn't writing. Donny Cates can do whatever the fuck he feels like, and at least told him like why the Sentry had nothing he was weak against, so he just took him out. But they did this 3-issue arc, and Carnage was so scary they had to team up and fight him, and they almost didn't win.
Yeah.
And
Spider-Man realized it quick too that he wasn't going to be able to. He rolled up on him in the burnt down orphanage.
Yeah.
He's like, okay, I need help.
Yeah, and so 2 people who, I mean, this is Xavier and Magneto have always had a great relationship. I absolutely love the villain dynamic where you're like, we hate each other and we oppose each other, but we also play chess or do something like
respect for each other.
Yeah, it's their ideas are opposite, but
they're 2 sides of the same coin kind of thing.
Yeah, Ryan said Superior is one of my favorite arcs of all time. Yes.
Oh yeah, super good.
There are 2 hard and fast rules of the bi-weekly BS. One is the Ben Reilly principle, which is like whatever you like and just enjoy it. Don't hate. So, and once again, that comes from the fact that I love the Clone Saga from the 90s, and it is a convoluted cluster, but I love it. I love,
Still fun.
and then I love the Ben Reilly epic that follows. Right,
Y'all gotta be careful. This is gonna turn into a Ben Reilly episode.
So right now,
It's in
Ben
the same world.
is back in Amazing Spider-Man, and then they're doing a series right now that takes place during the 90s series. Ooh, so good. That's all I'll say on that.
But I digress.
Don't worry.
We'll make another episode.
Clones are going to come back up in a bit.
There will be an evening with Ben Reilly, I'm sure.
There's going to be
Brad can have his Spidey suit.
like I said,
the
day like gosh, I can't think of his name. Joe Quesada. Joe's going to text me
Old
one
Joe.
day.
Old Joe.
Joe's going to say, Brad, what do you want to write? We're going to give you whatever you want. What do you want to write for us? And I'm just going to send him a picture of the end of Attack of the Clones where all the clones are marching. And I was like, that's all I want. I just want to do a bunch of clones.
Yeah.
And
Let Brad have his Clone Saga.
and
Who's where you were?
no, but we're going to talk about just like, I don't like when you punk out one character to
No.
show.
You shouldn't have to do that to prove somebody's strong.
It can work. It's okay, but like they did it again. Spencer did it with Kindred, where he punked out Mysterio, and I was like, oh, first of all, I'm taking this personally because I love Mysterio.
Yeah, me too.
And
Top 5 favorite Marvel character for me.
yeah, and this one showed where Spidey and Venom were not like Xavier and Eric. They were not shaky friends and call me if you need me, but stay out of my way otherwise. It wasn't even a mutual agreement. He left him for dead on an island.
Yeah.
And
He left because Venom thought he killed Spider-Man, so he was like, all right, I'm content living here because Spider-Man's
it's
dead.
almost like
I've
heard I haven't read it, so someone who please is a fan of the other guys. You know what they say, you're either a Marvel fan or a Batman fan. And I heard there's an arc where Joker kills Batman and he just becomes normal because his quest in life is over. And I think that's the same thing. Venom thought he won, so he was at rest.
He had nothing else to do.
So in the 90s, seeing Venom and Spidey team up was wild.
I
Yeah, it was.
remember reading those comics and like freaking out. Reading that stuff.
Yeah, and so it's really cool. It was fun because immediately you have these two very, very powerful characters who are like, there's someone new in town that we can't take alone. And that to me is really good. You didn't have
Team up.
you didn't have Carnage walk up behind Eddie and Venom and just cut him in two and kill him.
Yeah.
You had it to where it's like, this sucks so bad. We need better people. I'm not calling Cap. I'm not calling it. I need Venom.
He did Maximum Carnage.
Yeah.
But he needed Venom to.
Oh yeah, they got whooped.
Yeah, they did.
But
You almost need Venom to fight Carnage.
and yeah, so immediately there we're gonna hit on the points. Carnage is powerful, and Carnage is scary. And it seems to go, but Carnage, if I remember right, is not affected by fire like everybody, all the other symbiotes. He the sonic weapon still
Bill
blow his
Sonic,
brain
yeah.
out.
That's how they took him out in that first arc.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. And then in the end of Maximum Carnage, Venom dives him into like a.
There you go. That's just the second part of the first arc of Carnage.
What's
So.
it called? Does it have a name?
It's just Carnage.
Oh, okay.
Carnage Part
So
2.
good. So what's it say? Such a cool character. His name's on the cover twice or something like that.
But yeah, because at the end of Maximum Carnage, Venom like tackles him into like some box that shoots out, and they think they both die. But
Yeah.
once again, they established that he was pretty scary. He's this character that you need to be afraid of. And great little 3-issue arc, and then you get into Maximum Carnage, 14 issues. Now, one thing we should point out: this comics in the 90s were rabbits. If you guys weren't around, Spider-Man had about 15 different things. It was like Spectacular Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man, Just Spider-Man,
Web of Spider-Man.
Spider-Man
Peter Parker,
Unlimited,
yeah.
Peter Parker Spider-Man, another Spider-Man total. Like he had a billion. So when
They were throwing him out.
so when we say this 14 issues, it was probably a 3-month arc.
Yeah.
That's it.
was.
Which is still
And it started with a new title, Spider-Man Unlimited.
Yeah, it was basically where they would put out a book a week. and you just had to keep up with them.
And
Now,
you started collecting so many series to get
Yeah,
all the stories and the art.
what we did back in the day is we would usually collect them together.
Yeah.
And
Like, you got the books you liked,
Yeah.
the ones you liked, I
And
got them, Bear got them.
I remember, I'm thinking Scoot got most of Maximum Carnage because I remember reading it growing up, and I bought a trade several years back and revisited. Great 90s story. It's a little longer than it probably should have been.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it was Scoot's jam, and
And
that's who had most of
If
it.
Carnage, when he first appeared, was the lone wolf psycho killer, when he came back in Maximum Carnage, he was Charles Manson.
Yeah.
He was the leader of a twisted family who believed everything he said and followed him on a path of terror across the mostly New York, but
Like, they
what's-
weren't gonna let
Art
it
Jedi.
sway them.
What's kind of crazy? Oh, Art Jedi, we finished the chocolate milk in the first 6 seconds of the stream.
It didn't last that long.
But like in Maximum Carnage, Shriek followed Carnage because she's psycho, but Doppelganger follows Shriek.
Yeah.
Like he tried to attack Carnage, and Carnage's like, "Get the fuck out of here."
Yeah, that is how he died. Because if you know, quick aside, Doppelganger is an alternate universe of Spidey from Secret Wars.
Yeah.
So he kind of stayed over afterwards, which is also where he got his black suit. But yeah, I always loved how and they probably exactly what they were thinking of. They're like, we're gonna do an arc where he's Charles Manson.
Yeah.
Like,
Except for instead of being a pussy like Charles Manson and sending other people to do his dirty work, he went out and did it himself.
He was in the thing. He's like, "Hey, if you're coming with me, let's go."
He literally murders everybody at the raft.
Yeah, and he just butchering people. And once again, I think that's the comic code was dying at that point,
It was.
and it was
Some
almost.
things were still in effect.
Oh yeah, like you couldn't show full frontal or anything. Like I still say today, if I want to go back in time, I'm going to invent a time machine, go back to the 60s, and just show them Something's Killing the Children by Opinion. Because, dude, just the title alone.
Yeah.
But then when you see a monster rip apart a child, I'm like, oh man.
Like, yeah, your cuss words aren't too.
Yeah, not to get off tangent, but I've heard that's really good.
It's I'll loan it to you after you finish all of my Doctor Strange books. But Carnage was awesome that he picked up Hobgoblin eventually, or
Demo Goblin, yeah.
And
Carry on, yeah.
Carry on, my wayward son.
Yeah, basically the Guar version.
The Guar version. Carry on, wayward son. But I love that arc. Because if I remember right, when he finally catches Venom, he doesn't even kill him. He dangles him above a fire and tortures
He sure
him.
does. He
And am I
tortures
wrong?
them.
Is he in the Statue of Liberty when he's doing that? Or is it
Yes,
just
he's in the Statue of Liberty. I'm pretty sure he's in the Statue of Liberty. It's been a while since I've read it. But
So he's just that's once again where he's like, I could kill him outright, but no, he's gonna write Helter Skelter on the wall with his blood in
dude, he
because
he always writes what Carnage rules, and
yeah,
he always writes it in his
and
own
he
blood.
always says he's gonna paint the town red. There was, if we could have a second or an offshoot part of this thesis of where Cletus and Carnage are the same thing. Every time they try to remove Carnage and give him to a different host, it never lasts.
Never lasts.
And
It always finds its way
right now
back
he's
to
kind of
Cletus.
hopping from host to host, but once again, he is Cletus and Carnage right now.
Yeah.
There is, if we can once again talk about a clone. When Ben was Spider-Man, he went to Ravencroft at a certain point, and the Carnage symbiote went through the drainage, I believe, through the pipes and attached to him. As far as I know,
And that's Spider Carnage, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
as far as I know, Peter Parker has never worn Carnage.
Yeah.
And Spider Carnage is awesome, but in the end, he wasn't looking to make a host out of Spider-Man. Like Venom liked Spider-Man because it could sap all of his power and stuff. He was a good host, but he did it just to help Carnage try to escape, help Cletus try to escape, and so they could go on a killing spree again. Super cool idea to me. It shows that the symbiote is very attached to him. And when the Superior Spider-Man line was going on, they did the Superior Carnage, and we're skipping ahead, so we'll have to go back and explain, but Cletus was brain dead at the time.
Here's the last one of that art.
All right.
Okay, yeah, throw that up, because
It's the last one of the
cover that I just remember so much.
last one of the original arc. So yeah, I do have all three of those.
yeah, great cover.
Oh yeah.
And I liked it. clearly the villains were more popular at this time because Spidey's in the background.
It's the
Yeah.
I mean, everybody loved the villains so much in the 90s.
Yeah, and so there's been several times where the symbiotes left. I think the three biggest times were when he went to Ben for a short period. I mean, it wasn't even a full. I think it was maybe one issue.
Yeah,
and it was
really
just for
short.
part of it, and then he let go of it, and it went back to Cletus. The Superior, I think it was like 3 issues, and they tried to put it on. I'm trying to think who they put it on, but I remember Claw was the one who knocked it off him because he used a little sonic arm. But the symbiote ended up killing like everybody in the room basically. And then
Really good at doing that.
I mean, it excels. That's something that's very, very.
What I liked is they did the Superior Carnage annual, and in that they had Cletus's brain dead body,
Yeah.
and the Carnage symbiote went back to it. And then after he butchered, I don't even remember what the rest of the issue's about. I just remember he got loose, and dude, people are screaming like when Luke and Han. Like, all right, he's loose. How tears apart. Like, that's exactly
Like when
what it is.
Vader's coming at you and you have the Death Star plans.
Oh,
That's how they're screaming.
it is definitely end of Rogue One.
But yeah, and it really is because he's walking down the hallway, but at the end, he's dragging his hand and like smearing blood on the wall. He's like, Carnage is back, or he's like, Carnage is here and he's back, baby. And the last line is, I'm gonna paint the whole damn town red. And it's just like,
red.
boom. It was so.
I remember reading that because you were like, dude, get ready. Get ready for this. This is going to get you hype.
And I loved it. I loved how Carnage was back, and he's just like, I'm just going to go back to murdering. That's what I want to do. They did the follow-up series to that, which we can talk about with Jerry Conway. Let me make a note about that. Which was okay. Which we have, because it has the first appearance. Who did I say it was the first appearance of? There's a new symbiote, female symbiote. We have the first appearance of that. It's going up in price, but
It wasn't Scream or Phase.
no, it wasn't Ray's because that was the one that split off.
They killed Raid in that same arc, I think, too.
Ray's just recently went away.
Oh, yeah?
Because when Flash was Venom in Philadelphia, Ray's joined with his one of his students. But Maximum Carnage came around and it was great. Like they said, they call in the Avengers at a certain point and they get served.
Yeah, they do.
And that's what I like is Carnage every once in a while has appeared in a bigger thing. But honestly, until Absolute Carnage, he's never been a crossover villain. He's always best with Spidey. He's possibly one of the last only Spidey villains, in my opinion. Because even with Absolute Carnage, he was still Spidey and Venom's enemy.
Yeah. I find it funny, too, in Maximum Carnage. Like, they had the characters that came in to cross over on that series were... I wonder what their thought process was in choosing, because they had like Deathlock and Cloak and Dagger and Captain America.
Cloak and Dagger appeared in was their first appearance with Spidey though? They've always been closely related to him.
Yeah, I don't remember. I just always thought
one of those flip comics.
Yeah.
Two different sides.
I remember reading it and I was like, this is a weird eclectic mix.
I want to see because
They didn't exactly call in the B team, but they were the A team.
I want to see what their first. I feel like they were a '90s character creation.
All right, we're at
Late 80s.
8:03. You want to take a break and give away this print?
Sure.
All right.
I wanted to do the TV series first.
All right, guys, we're going to give away a print, the Absolute Carnage print.
You don't have.
Yeah.
You want one.
So first appearance of Cloak and Dagger, Peter Parker, the Spectacular Spider-Man, number 64, 1982.
So,
Oh my
no,
God,
Matt, Shriek's first appearance is the Spider-Man Unlimited #1, which is the first issue of Maximum Carnage. So,
Yeah. All right. So, Ashley.
oh, Ashley, you coming to draw?
Let me shake at Aaron's to the bottom real quick.
Okay, so yeah, we're gonna be giving away this print here. Okay, you want to draw? Oh, she's coming. This is an 11 by 17.
Individually numbered and signed.
They will be individually numbered. They're not individually numbered at the bottom yet, but it does have our signatures down there.
Doing another draw.
Again, penciled by me, drawn by or inked by Matt Seaborn, and colored by Daniel Erm. So we're gonna give away this print again. If you already have the print, 'cause I know some of you out there do. If you don't want another one, it's cool, and you want to pass it on to somebody else. That's very nice of you. So we'll go ahead and did you put new people in there, Ryan and stuff?
Yep, everybody's in
I'm
there.
shaking it up. I'm fixing to pull one out.
All right, hold on. Let me blow you up here.
All right. Hey, everybody.
She's back. Second
Okay.
appearance of Mrs. Scoot.
All right, I'm picking one now. Got Hayashi.
Hayashi, do you already have this?
Send him one.
I think I did send you one.
Oh, did I?
It's okay. If he wants it, we're gonna send it to
Well,
him.
that piece of artwork you sent, I thought you sent one with
But
I
if
think
he
I
wants
did.
a second one, he gets a second one.
Hayashi. Got you.
I predict Matt wins this one. So let me know, Hayashi, if you're still in here. Actually, if he's not in here, he doesn't get to win anyway. Ooh, turn of events on
No,
Hayashi.
I'm not trying to be like. I thought you said.
No, but no, if there's not
people
people in the chat,
can't
they
win
don't get to win
twice.
it.
Is that true? Like,
No, he hasn't won
someone's
yet.
already. Oh.
He hasn't
He
won yet.
hasn't-
Yeah,
Well, no,
like,
remember he won. Didn't
He
he win
didn't.
something the last?
No,
we
we're
drew
talking
that
about
specifically for him.
Okay.
This live stream, you can win again.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, here you go. Hayashi said second chance for Aaron. So go ahead and draw another
Throw
one.
it back in.
Another one.
Throw it back. Throw it back
Give me
in.
his name.
Yeah, hold on
And-
to it so it doesn't.
Okay.
Because yeah, like Jose's the only one who's not in this the second
He
time
said
around.
give his win to Aaron.
Put it in the.
So again, here's the print
And
while
that's what
she
they're winning right now.
Yep.
Yep, they're
Okay.
winning one of
Absolute
the-
Carnage
got-
print.
Ryan Michael.
Ryan Michael. Hey, there you go, Ryan. You get a free Absolute Carnage print, man. I hope you
Like I said, it'll probably come with this cardboard Spidey as well.
Hope you dig it.
No, I'll take that.
hope you dig it.
First timers get a cardboard.
All right.
So Ryan, if you can just send me a DM, you can send it through Twitter or Instagram, and I'll get this out in the mail to you sometime next week.
And you have one left.
We have one
One more turn. Oh,
No,
I'll be
no.
back.
Not yet.
Just so he. Oh, I don't have the Brad cam up.
Now we're just gonna make sure that I'm supposed to have the Brad cam up.
I think he was.
We're about to get back into it.
Yeah, we're about to get back into drawing. We'll call you for the next one. All right, let's get back into this drawing here.
All right. I'm just showing that Aaron actually has an entry in here.
Oh, okay, yeah, there you go, Aaron. You got one of them.
With you, Aaron.
So yeah, Ryan, if you can just get me send me a DM wherever, or if you want to send an email to scootsart@gmail.com with your address and your social security number and your bank account number and debit card number, we'll get this out to you.
Possibly blood type. We might need that.
And I know you pop in to the Stegman streams all the time. You're usually the first dude that they let in. When you get that, make sure you show it off. Promote your brother.
You know, Stegman is Scoot's best friend.
Because me and Stegman are basically best friends.
You're bestie.
But back on track.
Back on track.
What do we do the last one at 8:45?
Yeah, because the last one will be if you want to throw it down there real quick.
Is it under?
Yeah, take the. Nope.
Oh, there it is. So this will be the last thing we give away. This is the Carnage Forever book that just came out Wednesday. And then I did a remark on there. I'll bring it up a little bit closer in a second, let you guys see it. But I did a Carnage remark on there. So that'll be the last thing we give away for the night. We'll do that at 8:45ish.
All right,
And back to Brad.
back to the schedule. So, last thing about Maximum Carnage. Well, we talked about it. It ends with like Venom tackling, like body checking Carnage into some electrical box at Supersonics, and they're like, they both died. Well, and Spidey's like, at least Venom had a chance for redemption. You're like, either of those fools is dead.
Yeah.
You ain't
We
fooling
know
them.
it. You're a comic book.
Spider-Man,
character
you
that
almost
comes
got
back to life.
You are a genius. You know they aren't dead. And then, but there's a certain point where they've got Carnage on the ropes, and Spidey's just like, kill him. And
Yeah.
Which is
The-
not really.
It's really too, because Spidey's that character that always tries to do the right thing. So when you see
Is the moral
Spidey
character.
say, man, maybe we should just kill this dude. Like,
Yeah. He
How-
stops Venom though. That's the thing.
Yeah.
He's like gonna let it happen, and then he's like, "We can't, man. That's not who we are."
Venom's like, oh, it's not who you are.
Yeah, and Venom very much at that point, like I said, still the lethal protector, where he will kill people, and it's what he does. And I think we talked about it a lot on the Cates episode. Is that's something that Cates did well? Is Venom went back to his anti-hero roots, where he protected people, but he did it on his own terms, and it was very dark, very fun. But all right, so what he went through Maximum Carnage. What would be the next thing he did? So there were a few things he did. I mean, we're gonna skip way ahead, but something to where, once again, I think we show how Carnage is supposed to be scary. Supposed to be this just, yeah, he's a boogeyman. And not only that, but he's something that shows you he is as powerful as he is. It shows you how powerful Spidey is. That Spidey's usually the one who has to deal with them. Because there was like Carnage USA and a couple of series that we're going to skip over.
Yeah.
Because I haven't read those in so long. I wouldn't feel right talking about them without just disinformation all over the place. But when Bendis started New Avengers, it was right after, I know Disassembled, where there were no Avengers, and they kind of ragtag got together to solve a problem. Once again, it was no like, hey, we live in a mansion and we're all this team and we're always on call. It was just people coming together for the greater good, solving the problem that no one hero can solve by themselves. And I love the intro because it's a lot of Spidey, and Spidey sees something going on at the raft. And if you don't know, Electro goes just like super EMP and shuts the raft down and opens every cell. I think it's called Breakout. I have the first issue, and I've got Finch's signature, David Finch's signature, of course, a big hero of the show.
Hero of the show.
He was so nice. And then
also one of my best friends.
I got him to sign that because he actually left Avengers because he said he got so much crap from it, and like that people just harangued him about it. I love his artwork in it.
That's David Finch.
And I get it. I mean, it's the biggest book. Bendis was coming out strong at that point, and people just hate. And I think
it's because they drew it so much darker. Like,
well, that's David Finch's style.
And I think it worked well. I think he'd be better fit for something like Moon Knight, or he would have been.
Well, he's
God.
Yeah.
If he
his Moon Knight is
if he
quintessential.
could have done like
Nobody
a guest
can do it.
arc of Kate's Venom.
Oh,
would've been
yeah.
great.
Nobody does Moon Knight quite like Finch.
But Carnage, when he shows up in that, like there's a great scene where Spidey goes to the raft, but of course Spidey doesn't have, well, he has cars and helicopters and stuff, but not in this series. But he webs onto a helicopter going out there, but the helicopter, I believe it gets hit by a rocket or something. It gets taken down and he falls and he's climbing up on the raft, and you see like a little bubbles like, you need a hand, son, and it cuts and he's looking up at Cap. Great moment. Great little hero moment to where Spidey's always like looking to get respect from the other heroes, and they always treat him as like the goofy weirdo.
The kid.
And
he's an adult.
But I love it because they have the Thunderbolts there at the time, and at the time I believe the Thunderbolts are just like a rehabilitation group where they rehab villains and use them as guards or to do other missions. And Luke Cage is one of the people who runs it. And I know that there's a few low-level heroes in there, so more like street-level people like Luke Cage, who he's strong, but he's not. Yeah, he's going to be able to take like, and they're fighting all of these people, and they're doing all right. Like they're doing their hero thing. They're fighting back, and then Carnage comes out, and they're like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah.
And Carnage walks out, and he is just scary. He almost kills Foggy, and then it's just like Carnage is wreaking havoc, and they're getting their asses kicked so bad. They go to a cell. I think Foggy's the one who goes and gets him, and they're like, you see him like appealing to someone. He's like, "Please, we need your help. Carnage is going to kill us all." And they cut to the scene, and it's the Sentry. It's the Sentry's in a cell, and he's self-incarcerated after accidentally killing his wife. Which I don't know how they retcon that later, because she's back in the Dark Reign, but. It's comics, yeah. Probably a magic flute or something brought her back to life, but it's great.
She wasn't dead anymore.
Because when Carnage comes out, he comes out of a dark cell, and it's just like, you probably can hear him laughing, and he is just like, "Oh, it's time." Oh man, he's coming out like that GIF dude rubbing his hands. He's like, murder,
like the Shaq doing this.
Kill, murder. And Carnage comes out and he's just whooping ass, and just like he's fighting like 3 or 4 people by himself and just having a time of it. And Foggy is begging the Sentry, and the Sentry is so scared of his own power he doesn't want to do anything. But when he finally gets up, it's great because he stands up, he immediately appears and grabs Carnage, and the next thing you see, he's in space and he just tears Carnage in two.
Now, let me tell you, this is one of the saddest moments in comics. But the fact that David Finch drew it, and it's an amazing panel, I can look past it. Plus, the fact that Cletus basically doesn't die. It's fine.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is like he ripped him in two in space.
Yeah.
Like,
why is he still alive?
You could have done it on Earth, Sentry.
Yeah, you chill out, bro.
Now, you extra bastard, get down here.
Well,
but I like that because it
Damn right,
shows,
Finch
like,
and Coelho, big fans of mine.
He was so scary. It wasn't even like, oh, Cap or Spider on the way. Like, we need the strongest person in the Marvel universe at the
Not
time.
just the
Yeah.
strongest Avenger.
We need him. We need him bad. And it was a great scene, and it showed once again that Carnage is scary. Carnage is powerful.
That you need a powerhouse to take him out.
I mean, like, Luke Cage has unbreakable skin. That man survived a nuke. But
He's not-
Carnage could smother him with the symbiote if he wanted,
Yeah.
or God,
And
with
he
all
would.
with the weird axes and knives and stuff he makes out of his hand, maybe he would be the one person to pierce his skin. Who knows? Scary guy,
Don't have
great,
any idea.
great stuff. So I really, really loved that scene. Once again, we got to get Scoot that issue because it's the death of him. Like,
Yeah, that's one that no, you don't own that. You own it in
Yeah,
trade
it-
form. I don't own that issue, and I need to find it. Actually, this,
Sue's birthday is March 8th. If anybody wants to find it and give
yeah,
it to her.
it's one of the ones I was looking for on my comic hunt today, but I didn't find it.
But so I think if we jump it, because Carnage did some stuff where he came back and he had like metal legs because of course he got ripped in two. So he got ripped in two. So here's what you need to know: he got ripped in two and floated in space
For a while.
fell through space, through the atmosphere, and survived.
Back to Earth. He just lands and they show his body there with no legs.
Yeah, and he survived. So later he did a total maul and had metal legs.
But nobody wore metal
It
legs
was
like
a
Maul.
risky operation. And I remember one of the first times I remember him coming back because I'd just gotten back into comics. And when I got back into comics in like 2010, 2011, I really got into Christopher Yost and Ryan Stegman's run of a bunch of people drew it, but they did the Scarlet Spider. Great person. Once again, there are only 2 movie taglines in history that are any good. I hate movie taglines. They're like, if you die in the game, you die in real life. Like, okay, you maybe never want to watch this movie ever. So Alien, where in space, no one can hear you scream.
Yes.
Great line.
Oh,
Shin Godzilla, a god incarnate, a city doomed.
Yeah.
Good line.
well, you know you've got you. Oh, for God's
So-
sake.
Speaking of which, side tangent, 901 has Godzilla #1, and we need that.
Ooh, how much is that?
I don't remember.
I did not look.
For Scarlet Spider, his tagline was "All the power, none of the responsibility."
Yeah, I love that one.
Great tagline.
It works in the Spidey.
But when and then my other once again talking about like how crazy was it when we saw the first Carnage arc and Venom and Spidey teamed up. So I loved Scarlet Spider. Took place in Houston, totally fun, great character, trying to find his way after a lifetime of torment and antagonism. And then you had Flash, who was really like Flash was a good commentary of the war in Iraq because he was a veteran who came back, lost his legs, going through a hard time, dealing with alcoholism, got pulled into a government program thinking he was still serving the country, fell into all really great stuff. But he was an awesome Venom. I love Rick Remender and Cullen Bunn's run with Flash. So when they announced Minimum Carnage, and it was Kane Parker, the Scarlet Spider, and Flash Thompson Venom, I was ecstatic. I was like, this
I
is
like
gonna...
Flashes.
Oh, it was so cool. And I'm just like, this is awesome. I love this. And love Carnage. Scoot and I talk about Carnage all the time. Really fun character. And then they went into the Microverse, which we like because Bug lives in the Microverse.
Yeah.
Love us.
And we love Bug. I've got the first appearance of Bug, Micronauts #1.
Bug is awesome.
That book's been going up in value too.
Yeah, and so Ryan said Scarlet Spider by Ryan Stegman is one of the things that got me collecting. If you watch
Absolutely.
we did a basically a Stegman and Kate circle jerk when we did Vanish,
Basically,
Vanish Man, and
Management.
but I have issue 2, page 5 of the full page spread of Scarlet Spider coming through the window to fight. I think he was the serpent or the salamander. He was the fire guy, but great panel. Still love it. Still holds up. And he said Stegman's clearly a McFarlane disciple. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
100% fine with that. But they did Minimum Carnage and it was great because it was a crossover, classic crossover where I think one panel ends with, or one of the crossover, it might have been the Alpha because they did Minimum Carnage Alpha and then I think 2 issues of both of the series. So like Scarlet Spider, Venom, and then they did Alpha or Omega of Minimum Carnage.
Yeah.
And the Alpha and Omegas had 2 Bagley homages to Maximum Carnage, but where Spidey and Venom were now Scarlet Spider and Flash Venom.
Yeah.
Super cool, super fun stuff.
Which one of them's on the wall up there?
Oh, Holly popped in.
Hey, Holly.
I'll put her on the list. Maybe she'll win a piece.
Yeah, Holly, if you stay tuned, we're about to be giving away, in about 25 minutes, we'll be giving away, you can see it on the camera there, that Carnage Forever book with a remark I did of Carnage on it.
Probably murder you. Garbage.
Blitzkrieg Bop is in there. But Minimum Carnage was probably one of the first times I enjoyed the series. I thought it was really fun because, like I said, first, one of the issues, it ends, the best thing about when you have comic crossover, especially with Flash and Venom, definitely kind of towed the line of hero. Flash and Kane towed the lines as heroes at this time. They were really trying to find their way, but they were still heroes of the story. And nothing's better than when the heroes first meet and fight.
Yeah.
And then they find out they're not. And I think the last page they turn, they're sneaking around and they come up on each other. And the last panel is Kane has his weird bone protrusion that comes out of his stinger.
Yeah, that thing's always weird to me.
And he has it to Flash's throat, and Flash has all the 6 guns from all, because Venom's tendrils would hold all the different guns.
Yeah.
And they're just pointing guns and spikes at each other. Great scene. But it got into where they were bringing Carnage to the microverse to help reclaim the microverse. And to me, it was one of those things where they were trying to make it Carnage was a blunt object. And I wasn't a huge fan of that. Now, once they got through with the microverse, because he ended up murdering everybody,
yeah.
He almost destroyed the entire microverse. But when he came back, they got into an Venom, Scarlet Spider, and Carnage had a great fight, and that's where they were fighting him, and they found out the guy's basically invincible. Yeah. So Kane grabbed him and lobotomized him, just stuck that stinger into the base of his skull and killed him. He thought he'd kill him, what it did was it made Flash hate Scarlet Spider, because he was like, dude, we're heroes. We don't just murder people. And all I could think was, dog, your weapon is guns.
Yeah.
Get out of here. And I did call you Blitzkrieg Bob. It's a very easy pun. I'm so sorry. You probably prefer Hail Bop instead, being space themed. But it did a couple of cool things. One, it made Scarlet Spider go into this deep depression, because he was like, dude, I've been on this path of redemption, and then when things got bad, I just tried to kill the guy. I just lobotomized him. And so he was going through the whole I'm a monster thing again. So he was it really put him on a good path through his comic. Made Flash really hate him and go back to double down on his hero duty. But then that's when they got into the Superior Carnage, is the next time he showed up, where they were like, oh, we're just going to rip it off of Cletus and put it on somewhere else. And the symbiote was not happy. The symbiote was fighting the entire... Because if you know anything, they refer to Flash's Venom is the government chemically neutered it, where they put something in it that made its rage and its destructive side kind of tempered. They just basically medicated it. And a couple of times, Venom, Flash loses control of it, of course. There's a great scene where, on his first mission, he's like, we gotta, if we don't finish this mission soon, we're screwed. And they're like, we are Venom? And they're like, no, us, the government.
Yeah.
But then,
there's some cool panels of him about to transform.
Yeah, and that's my favorite. I have a poster of it where because I'm pretty sure it's Joe Quesada did it, but it's just Flash's face, and you could always tell when he was about to go crazy, because his mouth would start splitting open, because he had a smooth mouth Spidey's mask, and his mouth would start splitting. Yeah. Absolutely excellent cover. Loved it. Got a huge poster of it. Gotta get it up on the wall. But the Spider Island, afterwards, some a Q list villain was rampaging, and Flash was trying to help keep get everybody back under control after all the chaos of Spider Island. And this guy robbed a bank while all the heroes were busy, and Flash went after him, and he was chasing him, and the guy mowed down a mom and child, and he lost it, and he turned into big bulky Venom, and destroyed the dude's tank he was driving in, and killed him by eating his fingers. And I was like, this guy, super dark, super fast. Great stuff if you never read it. The complete collections are very expensive. I'm sorry if you go looking for them. especially Volume 2.
Better find you some digital copies.
Oh yeah, Comixology is always there for you. But Carnage, when did he show back up? So he did Minimum Carnage, and then he did Superior. So we're gonna get into something where I'm trying to think if he showed up anywhere else for a while. I don't. What they do to him at some point? Well, at some point, someone went and did a job and got the Carnage symbiote, just the symbiote, and gave it to Norman Osborn. And we're getting into what is probably my least favorite Carnage arc.
I never read any of that stuff.
Dan Slott's final arc of Spider-Man was called Go Down Swinging. And in it, Norman, the Green Goblin, of course, got the symbiote. He paid somebody to go get it for him, recover it for him, and he used it to... Well, he bonded with it. He kind of made a deal. He bargained with it to make a deal, and like it... Spidey, they had this real great arc with Norman and Spidey where he was living... somebody can tell me. Silver Sable has a fictional country she lives in. I don't remember what it's called. But Spidey...
Silvertown.
Yeah. He went to help her liberate it, and Norman was the one trying to oppress it. And him and Spidey had a great fight in it. But during it, Spidey did something to introduce these nanites that neutralized the Goblin Serum in his blood. And the Carnage symbiote helped it go away. My thing was, he turned into the Red Goblin. I've got that issue. It's worth... Well, last time I checked, it was worth quite a bit.
It's worth it, yeah.
It is not good. I don't care why people... Well, I'm once again, sorry. It didn't work for me. And why is, once again...
totally get why
So we talked about the first rule of the bi-weekly, or the weekly BS. The Ben Reilly principle. Like what you like. Who cares what anyone else thinks? Number 2 is... Norman Osborn is not Spidey's nemesis, Otto Octavius is. So, I hate that whenever they want to end a Spidey arc, or do a big blowout Spidey, you bring in damn Norman Osborn.
They always do.
And I'm just like, yeah, I just don't like him. And so, he got the Carnage symbiote, and the Red Goblin looked like, gosh, what is that company that, Rubies? It was like a Rubies copy.
Yeah.
First, Norman Osborn decided to cosplay for the first time. He watched one tutorial on YouTube on how to sew and
said that's good enough.
That's good enough.
He didn't even watch it. He fast forwarded.
I just didn't care for it. And Bagley did a variant, and I'm just like, don't like it. And still, once again, Carnage was a blunt object. It wasn't Carnage and Norman fighting him. It was Norman.
Yep.
I didn't care for that.
Can we just agree that the greatest Norman is Paranorman?
Oh yeah.
I love that movie.
I got a lunchbox with a kitty.
Got my kitty cat on it.
Time to shine.
Finally, my turn to shut. But
I love that movie.
I didn't really care for Go Down Swinging because it was just, to me, like it was the thrill ride. It was the I'm gonna go down and make the... Dan Slott's last true issue of Spider-Man was a masterpiece. It was a homage, a one shot of why Spidey is Spidey. Perfect. So his last arc, though, I wasn't a fan of, and there's a couple of reasons. One of them, they killed Flash Thompson, and like Flash at this point was anti-Venom, and he was the only one who could harm the Red Goblin. And at a certain point, he's just wailing on him and just has him on the ropes. And next thing you know, Carnage shoots a few tendrils at him, and Flash is dead. It's like, what? But then Venom shows back up. Because I like it, J. Jonah Jameson calls him and gets him to come help. But it seemed like it was just trying to be a nostalgia circle jerk because, like, Eddie got beat up and he's like, only you can do this. You have to. And he gives him the Venom symbiote. And Spidey wears it again. I'm like, Spidey doesn't need that. And then they put him in the symbiote. Like, okay, well, fine. He's in the symbiote. And he goes to fight the Red Goblin. And then Spidey's like, hey, Norman, you're a bitch. Because you're having to rely on a suit. What a pussy. And Norman's like, you know what, you're right.
And gets rid of it,
the Carnage symbiote and lets Spidey fist fight him. Like, Spidey hits like a tank. Why would you say, oh, well, I'm going to let him...
I don't need armor.
I don't need this. So Normie, their kid, He infected him with the Carnage symbiote, which that's what came into play later in Absolute. So Cage did a great job of using that plot point that I didn't care for to a great sense. Once again, shows that sometimes people can take plot points that aren't good and make them exceptional.
You have to be able to create a good story around it.
It reminds me of, it wasn't a bad, this is a bad example because I like the plot point, but I think it was Jason Aaron. Maybe I'm wrong. I could be wrong. Someone, maybe it's Gillian. So whoever wrote the Iron Man arc when he was in space, when he had the cool red and gold suit and he went into space, they found out in that arc that his parents were not his parents. He was adopted.
The International Iron Man.
So yes, then the series ended and Bendis took over, and then Bendis wrote International Iron Man. So he took that retcon.
Yeah.
International Iron Man is great.
Oh, it was a fantastic series. That was one I was.
So to me, like, the Red Goblin arc, the Go Down Swinging arc, it didn't work for me on so many levels. I've said it before. I'm a Slot fan. I like his Silver Surfer run is exceptional.
You always talk about.
Gosh, and then like all of his stuff didn't work for me. But dude wrote Spider-Man for like 20 years. You're not gonna like everything. He's gonna have to write a dud every once in a while. Nobody has that
20 years of perfect
until Brad Starnes gets on Spider-Man.
Oh gosh, and then like nobody writes for that long and doesn't have an arc where you're like, it's okay. But like if you, I read this stuff before Brand New Day, and dude, even Bob Gale, who wrote Back to the Future amongst other things, he wrote an arc and I was not a fan of it. But the Go Down Swinging did not work for me. But of course, once Carnage or the symbiote's gone again. So unless I'm mistaken, the next time we see the Carnage symbiote is when Cates wrote it.
Mm-hmm.
And he brought it back in with the Cult of Cletus.
The Cult of Carnage, yeah.
Yeah, and they have his
body. The Carnage Born, I think.
Yeah.
Web of Venom, Carnage Born.
And
I had that issue. Actually, I have a bunch of these issues you're talking about in my my Carnage short box.
Carnage comes in, or they show Cletus in that Darth Maul sarcophagus iron lung.
Yeah.
And it's rough.
Yeah, it is.
But they reattach the Carnage symbiote to him. And wait, I'm so sorry. I skipped a whole thing. Before that, there was a Jerry Conway wrote a Carnage arc that was really fun and like it had the dark hold and was really Cthulhu-esque. Super fun arc. Introduced a few new characters, had what is J. Jonah Jameson's son? Manwolf? Is he the Manwolf?
Yeah, Manwolf, yeah.
That had a cool one, but once again, Carnage was really like the
yeah, Carnage. It's not in order.
Okay.
But he
it's got a really gnarly Carnage
the
on the
only
front.
thing, like, I loved it because it had Venom, it had Flash, or excuse me, it had Eddie Brock with no symbiote, plus or maybe no, excuse me, Eddie had Toxin at the time.
Yeah, which Toxin, by the way, is Carnage's only offspring.
Oh no, he had 5.
Did he really?
Yeah, like Riot and Lasher and all those are his offspring. Good.
Are you serious?
Extreme Carnage, they have Alpha and Omega, and the 5 issues in between are all his kids.
Well,
He
fuck me
cracked
then.
out. And I don't think that was Venom. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. Hey Hamilton.
You could be right.
Let me throw his name on here. We're getting close to the.
Yeah. What's up, man?
We're getting close to the next drawing, but once again, where I think that failed was Carnage was doing his thing. He was killing people and being scary.
Doing his thing.
But
Doing his thing.
But the where again, he was more of just moving the plot.
Should be.
And I didn't really care for that. I didn't care for, once again, that he was just a fixture of the plot. He was a MacGuffin on the move, but he, to me, should be terrifying. And he should have been the one, like, maybe he was the one leading the expedition and killing people along the way or something, but again, it just didn't work for me. It didn't work that he was being used by someone else. But after that, we get out of that used era.
Yeah.
And we get into absolute carnage. And there are several things.
Me and Brad have talked about this before. Like, we're big, Stegman and Kate's fans. Absolute Carnage was better than King in Black.
I agree 100%. And not to say King in Black was bad.
Yeah, exactly.
I didn't. Honestly, Donny Cates probably had two of the most fun events in the past 10 years.
Oh, absolutely.
I think I would put Original Sin, Jason Aaron's Original Sin. I absolutely love that. I don't. And then Secret War.
I thought it was in there.
Secret Wars by Hickman. Oh yeah. Aaron said he loves Sleeper. Everyone loves Sleeper.
Yeah, everyone loves Sleeper. He's a little avocado symbiote.
But he hit me one of those Extreme Carnages real fast. Did you say you saw one of those? Just any of them. That's good. You got one right there. Agony. But
it looks like it's a kind of a blue cover.
Okay.
It's his whole body.
I've seen a lot of red in here.
Scoot, you're absolutely right. I stand corrected. So I was misremembering the intro. So it says, years ago, the alien symbiote Venom was forced to spawn 5 offspring, known as the Foundation symbiote. So boom, you were right. I was wrong.
Yeah, I think Toxin's Carnage's only offspring.
Yeah, because I think Toxin was the one who showed up in Extreme Carnage to help Flash.
It may be in that other long book, but I thought it was in there.
Yeah, I don't see.
Maybe it's just Cult of Carnage. I don't know.
I don't know. I can see.
You got it. I know you own it.
Yeah, it's in there.
I'm giving time to see if I see a melty.
I just read-back. It's a funky
side
drawing
story
style.
Is several years back when they did the Absolute Carnage, one of Scoot's Christmas gifts that a bunch of us got together is we bought him the Carnage long box, which I think is actually a short box.
It's a short box. That's the one Annie's going through right now.
We bought him the Absolute Carnage short box. Bagley art on one side, Kate Stegman on the other.
Yeah.
Very cool combo. We bought it and we filled it with all the tie-ins. So he had the whole set. It was a cool little setup. Oh, but Absolute Carnage to me was what Carnage should be. Again, scary, and then yeah, sure. In the end, Null was kind of pulling the strings, but the crescendo of that, how the thing at the end was Venom had to choose what he wanted to do. Was he going to let his son die and preserve peace, or was he going to kill Carnage, stop Carnage, and awake Null and doom the planet? And that to me was super cool. But there are a couple things. One, Dark Carnage is scary. His little spine and devil horns and all that, super creepy, super fun. And then
they did really good playing up the horror elements of that.
It was very horror, and how he was spitting maggots and stuff, and when they opened up,
when he goes through the cell and he's chunking the maggots in to make all the, oh gosh, disgusting.
It's crazy.
He actually, in the Marvel Puzzle Quest game, one of his in Null Carnage, it shoots the maggots out.
Yeah, he's Dark Carnage in that. Is what they call him. But but there's so clearly I don't like Norman Osborn. And I always say he was only fun during the Dark Reign when Bendis had him. But I love it because he breaks Bendis out, or he's going around. Carnage is going around collecting everybody who ever wore the Carnage outfit or wore a symbiote.
The codex, all the codex.
The codex out of him. But he starts making a bunch of smaller Carnage to fight Carnages.
Yeah.
Fight
Carnage Eye.
And I love when they show him underground and he's sitting on a throne. And Norman comes up and tries to say something, and Cletus just straight talks trash to him. Just
shuts him down.
Punks him out. And I remember reading that and oh, sweet, sweet Nectar. Norman isn't scary. He doesn't care. And so I loved how he punked him out for that. But also, because once again, he was scary. I mean, he was so scary that Venom left Eddie and fused with with the Hulk, the Immortal Hulk.
Yeah.
And I even like it because when
It's not a big deal. It's all good.
it's not a big deal. And,
Yeah, it's all good.
Well, I'm still
But I'm about to move on.
Yeah.
quest.
You got Absolute Carnage? I just told him to throw that out there.
Yeah, I'm going. You took the little.
The comic winch is behind on her job. The birthday comic winch.
Yeah, made me work on my birthday. Working on my birthday.
Oh my god, I don't think
There's
I was
Absolute
ever...
Carnage number
So
one.
we bought every variant we could find of that almost. We bought every tie. I think Scoot's missing one tie because somehow I was a POS and missed one.
Yeah.
Not a point of sale. And
He forgot to take it to the point of sale.
yeah, and somehow, and I think it's like a Web of Spider-Man or Symbiote Spider-Man, one of them.
It's
But
gonna be in one of those issues that has a first reveal, and I can never get it.
God, it's like $400. But I remember when King in Black was coming out, and I was like, "All right, Scoot, do you want just the mainline series or every tie?" And he's like, "Oh, just the mainline. We don't have the." Oh, thank God.
I only wanted the other ones because it's Carnage related.
Yes,
so.
absolutely. And so, but
Love your character.
yeah, Absolute Carnage to me, it was so fun, and I always say like it was supposed to just be an arc of Venom,
Yeah.
and I remember when they made it an event, I was kind of sad, and this is me being a pessimist. I'm not a pessimist often, but I was just like, God, now they're gonna make an event, and there's all these tie-ins, and they're gonna bring in all these extra characters, and it's gonna detract from the arc. It's gonna detract from Johnny Cates' original vision. And I mean, I'm sure it would have been different had it just been an arc of Venom, but it was so good as an event that even if something slightly changed, I think he mentioned a couple of times where all it did was give him a bigger sandbox to play with. They let him use the Avengers, they let him use his other characters.
You really got to just play it.
I'm sure he still. I want to think he would have still gotten Spidey.
Oh,
But-
of course.
It was, it was really well done, and Carnage was once again leading his big cult. He was out killing people left and right. I mean, it opens with them finding a mass grave he left,
Yeah.
and then I love when Venom goes and gets Spidey.
Yeah.
And once again, you're back to it where Spidey was kind of like not cool with Eddie because Eddie was back to being kind of the lethal protector again. And I love when they first meet and they're in that diner.
Yeah.
And he makes a joke and Venom's like, "That's not," or Eddie's like, "That's not funny." He's like, "I know it's not funny. I hate the symbiote stuff.
Yeah.
This is awful." And then like they have the little scene where somebody tries to rob the diner.
Yeah, I love
and he
it.
kicks their ass and then he's webbing them up. He's like, "If anybody asks, I said something funny. I have a reputation to uphold."
Yeah.
And it was
Dude,
just,
that scene makes me want Donny Cates to write Spider-Man.
yeah, it's so good. And then other than Stegman loving to do ripped mask Spidey, his Spidey is so good.
And even again, I feel like I'm ripping on King in Black, which I'm not because I loved the series and I love Null. Can't wait for the Marvel Legend to come out. But I think Stegman's artwork on Absolute Carnage was better too.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I think it was because he's under less pressure, smaller story.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff. I mean,
And yeah, and again, his artwork on King in Black was phenomenal. But the stuff in Absolute Carnage was so good.
and it could absolutely be that we're more Carnage fans, so we just
It could be, yeah.
be biased as hell.
Could
but
be.
dude,
I love his story.
and to me, something like
Stormy.
that make something I don't want to harp on it too bad, but I think like you look at Spencer's run, of course, because Spencer was writing Spidey at the time. What they did with Spidey and Absolute Carnage was so good, and then I like it because at a certain time, Carnage is of course trying to collect all the codexes he can, and he wants to get the one out of Normie because Normie's won the Carnage symbiote, so he goes to get it, and he Venom and Spidey put Normie and Dylan. Dylan, of course, is Venom's son, sort of. That's super weird. It's like kind of Eddie, kind of Venom offspring. But he puts them in a bunker, and he goes out to fight, and Spidey's like, "I'm coming with you." He's like, "No, stay here." And Spidey's like, "I've got to fight." He's like, "No, I need you here in case anything gets through." And Spidey's like, "I've got you."
Yeah.
It was a really good scene. And then when everybody's fighting, Norman covered in his part of the Carnage symbiote, comes down and has this really good scary scene. And in Kate's issue, all you see is Spidey throw up the dukes, and he's like, "This is as far as you come, Norman."
Yeah.
And I remember seeing that, I was like,
Oh,
holy shit.
yeah.
This is about to be awesome. I was like, I picked up that tie-in. It's about to be him just rip-roaring through. Actually, I think I was still getting Amazing Spider-Man at the time.
Yeah.
And instead, he pivoted and told an entire story about Kindred with the absolute Carnage stuff going on slightly in the background. And to me, I was like, dude, you and Donnie Cates playing basketball, you broke away from the pack, you had the whole court to yourself. Donnie threw you a perfect arc,
And you slipped.
went to catch up to do that alley-oop, and you hit the backboard.
Yeah.
He didn't get close to the
You
goal.
missed the whole goal.
You ran into the towel boy.
Yeah. You
The cheerleader sitting behind it got run over.
and I'm just like, to me, it was like, if somebody had done that for me, I'd be like, dude, I'm about to draw a 22-page fight scene. This is going to be awesome. And to me, it's once again, it ties in well with Spidey. Like, what does Spidey do well? Whenever you see like the big Avengers fights, he's always the one moving the citizens out of the way. He's always the one saving people from the burning building.
Neighborhood Spider-Man.
And so, like, his job of not going out there and fighting the Carnage army at this time with everybody else, his job was to protect the two innocent kids. And it was just like perfect setup. And they're like, here comes the guy with the centipede. There's Kindred. Okay.
Did anybody care for Kindred?
I
haven't read any of that, but the general consensus is that was
I wasn't
weak.
a huge fan. I'm once again what followed. I am because they brought Ben back. Honestly, I'm just having to me. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And to me, maybe it's more episodic. He wrote 50 plus issues or 75 issues about Kindred, basically.
Yeah.
And that's a tough man. Hickman even doesn't do some stuff that long, but 8:45 if you want to do a drawing.
Okay, we'll do it in just a second. Let me
Okay,
finish
no, do your thing.
the shadow up this arm because I'm not gonna finish this. I'm actually close, but
Yeah,
I need to do shadows on the tendrils and stuff like that. But we're close.
but absolute carnage in the end. Like I said, other than that about wraps him up. He was cool. You didn't really see much of him. Or he died, of course. He died. They killed him. Oh, how did I forget? He had that excellent Venom Island arc.
Oh yeah.
Because I think Venom absorbed him, and he talked to Venom, and he talked to Dylan, and they did the Venom Island arc, and it's awesome. I mean, there was a damn Venom T-Rex, for God's sake.
Yeah, that
How
was
cool
so
that?
rad.
That was
That
super
could've
cool
gone
because
bad
he
way.
attached to Eddie, or Eddie was trying to get rid of him, and he ended up taking his hand and like all kinds of stuff. But the best part is when they leave, you saw the Carnage symbiote swimming off as a shark. You saw his
Yeah.
fin sticking out, so you knew he's still around. But after King in Black, we got Extreme Carnage, and you found out because of the void left by Null leaving, the hive was kind of empty and open, and so Carnage just walked in and took over. And he didn't do it trying to take over. Holly says, hey Scoot, the Spidey has a prominent place in my mom's office now. She loves it.
Oh, good. I did a cardboard Spidey for a commission I did when I drew her mom's doggo.
But Extreme Carnage to me was super fun because he took the disgruntled Venom symbiote kids and turned them all against him. If Extreme Carnage has a lot of contemporary American political message in there. There's a lot of stuff about like truther movements of people, like even stuff like flat earthers or the Stop the Steal and birther stuff with Obama. There's a lot of American politics in there. Luckily, the entire world's politics are a fucking disaster, so everybody gets it. It's not like you have to be American, because I mean, you can just, instead of considering instead of him being a Ted Cruz or a Trump character, he's just, what's the Boris guy's name in the UK who's a fucking catastrophe. I don't know, he always looks drunk when they show him. I don't know how they haven't booted him out of office, but we also, what can you do? I am not pointing fingers, UK. We are a fucking cluster as well.
American, come on.
Yeah. Please, God, don't think I'm insulting you.
They were insulting us.
Yeah, at least you guys have a cool parliament house. Shit.
They still get to wear wigs. Wear wigs to work.
But there's a lot of like current politics in it, which everything does. Comics always have some kind of message. You know, Stan Lee was very, the term would be woke now, but he was very forward thinking.
Vocal about
And,
what he thought.
And so it was interesting, but then what made it good was, once again, Carnage had, like, first of all, you're trying to figure out who Carnage was possessing, because you only saw him a couple of times, but he would talk through the hive and get everybody else to help him. And it was super cool. They killed Shriek in it or something. And she became a new symbiote and bonded with Ray's old host. I can't remember her name. But Boris Johnson. It's justified. Yeah, I remember I had to ask him because I was like, I've seen all these memes about Boris Johnson online. I was like, Aaron, I'm so sorry. Every time I need something from England explained, I go to him. And I was like, who is this guy? He's like, a bellend. And I was like, okay, like he called him a douche or something.
Like, well, we don't like him either.
Yeah, none of us do. But it's it has a lot of that stuff in it, and it's really interesting because it says a lot about current culture. Like back in the 90s, what would he do? He would be a scary cult serial killer with a family. What would he do now if he wanted to cause the most damage? He'd be a politician.
Yeah.
And he did it in such a crazy way to where he manipulated it and used it to demonize, because the symbiotes are like super feared right now. They're kind of like mutants where people are scared that aliens are taking over. And he did it, and he framed Flash several times in it to make him look like the villain. Super fun. Sleeper ended up being a character in there, and you didn't even know the entire time. Really fun, and it set Carnage up to where you're like, this guy's scary, like, because he is.
Once again, he's
I think he also butchered an entire bus full of people for fun during it, and every one of those, I think Toxin was the only one who was like, he tried to get him to like join, because some kid, I want to say a real young kid, is the host of Toxin right now, and he was the only one who was like, you know, Carnage is kind of trying to put the whammy on him. He's like, get the fuck out of here, like. It was really interesting that, like, how much he hated him. But Extreme Carnage, I think, once again kept the trend going and got him back on track to being.
Yeah, I haven't finished it, but man, I remember texting Brad like, dang, Carnage is back.
Yeah, he's super good, and the thing is, he does it by nothing but his presence in that, because he's not really in it. He's in
because
every
every issue is like a different symbiote. So
but it's like Flash and a couple other people who are really doing a lot of stuff. Super fun, but like I said, it's just the presence of him. And then
it's just knowing he's lurking there.
Yeah.
In the shadows.
Once again, he's the monster you cut around. Yeah. Super cool. And then
you fear him more because you don't know where he's at.
But then we got Carnage Forever, which I won't spoil because
I haven't read it yet.
Skid hasn't read it yet.
I bought it today and drew a remark on it. So.
There's a one-page kind of like joke page, and it's awesome. Really like cartoony drawn and really funny. The Carnage I gave you 2 copies of it too. That's right. Are you gonna look at that last page?
No, I'm not gonna look at it. We'll show this on stream.
Oh, is it the Bagley variant?
Yeah, so Carnage Forever, the one that you see on the screen now is the standard cover. Cover A, and then Brad gifted me this one today. This is the Bagley variant, because again, nobody draws Carnage like Bagley.
On your birthday?
Bagley. So.
You gave me a mic for my birthday, so
I gave her a comic on her birthday.
But yeah,
my favorite character.
Carnage Forever is scary. There's 2 stories in it, and the first one, I'm struggling to remember the second one because the first one was so good.
I'm gonna read it after all these folks leave my house.
Yeah, super scary. Okay, so yeah, Aaron says, Ram V, I guess is how you say his name. Holly, if you wanted 901 Comics in Midtown has a couple more. I actually have to go buy another one because Scoot couldn't find it, so I gave him mine, and I'm gonna go buy another one tomorrow. But very good one shot, and it's going into a continuous series. So
let me get that remark one.
I'm really hoping it keeps going as well, because all I want to say is they went Something's Killing the Children. Like, the first story involved a very young girl, and I remember they got to a certain scene, Aaron probably knows it, but I opened the page and I saw the scene and I was like, hold on, and I flipped back to the cover. I was like, this doesn't have a mature rating on it or a warning or anything. It's teen, just like Spider-Man. It's got the same rating as Spider-Man. That book does not need that rating. It needs a higher one. So yeah, it was a good, even if the next series, which I doubt it, if the next series is garbage, that one issue gave him a wonderful 30-year celebration. So I'm happy. Oh, Holly's mom's in the chat.
Hey, Holly's mom.
Her also initials are also HB, I suppose. Yeah, Holly. If they've got enough over there, I'll buy one for you too.
All right, I'm just real quick. I'll probably hit to the point to that I will on this picture. I'll bring it up close in just a second. I'm just tweeting out and putting on Instagram real quick. They're about to give away this remark.
But yeah, like Cyclops. Like I said, we didn't talk about Carnage USA. There was this guy named Clayton Crane.
Clayton Crane, yeah.
He did another series. We didn't talk about Red, White, and Blood, or Black, White, and Blood that you haven't. I
haven't read it yet. Yeah,
I hadn't read it either. I went to buy more. But again, I think the whole point of Carnage is to be a big. I think people lost sight that he was the big bad. He for a while he was just a plot device, and he is up there in a different way with people like Doom or King the Conqueror. He may not be an Avengers crossover event because I think he's such an intimately Spidey character that it doesn't make sense for him to be an event series. But old
Okay.
school play in at the end.
Hey, what's up, man?
Everybody's
Hey,
trying to sign
yeah,
there.
you're catching us here at the end, but we're about to do a giveaway. Not this, but I'm gonna bring this close. I'm not done. I'm not done with it,
Not this, guys.
but
If you want it,
we're getting close.
throw him a number.
Yeah.
Throw him a number. He'll.
This will be for sale, so once it's done, you can
Once again, it's paid.
feel free to throw me a number. But yeah, so Mark, you just came in. We gave away a 10-minute Carnage head sketch I did. So we gave this away. And
Is that going to be a new thing for the evening with? Is a 10-minute head sketch?
Could be. I mean, I did one for you.
Yeah, I was gonna say I got psych.
Are we talking about Storm?
Whenever. So we did this 10-minute head sketch at the top. And who won this one?
Jose.
Jose won this one. That's
Jose
right.
in Florida.
Jose won this one. And then
Unless I'm wrong, he's one of our new guys hanging out.
I gave away a print of Absolute Carnage, which most of you out there that have been following me for a while probably have one of these already. But we gave one away.
Old school player is the Scoot Squad.
He is.
Him and Hayashi.
They've been backing you for a
We really were. We wanted to make Scoot Squad stuff for a while, but we definitely can't do initials.
We will be giving away this now, which is the new Carnage Forever book. And I did a remark of Carnage
With red and white.
with red and white. I used a red marker and a white marker. So this is the first remark I've done that it wasn't on our Fathom book. So
Disgusting that fucking 6 years later that Absolute Carnage holds up.
Is it 6?
Yeah.
It was 2014.
no, that
Oh
that was 2017.
no, it was 19. I was thinking of Wonder
19,
Woman 2014.
Oh, I can bring that up if y'all want to see it.
This is an evening of Carnage.
Yeah, that's gonna be our fourth raffle. Wonder Woman 2014.
You don't
So-
want to call us Carnage, okay?
Ugh.
Put double the votes for Aaron.
I didn't know it was possible to get negative viewers.
Who's a cow gets banned on YouTube?
So- So-
No.
Market is inappropriate.
Yeah, so again, to win this remark, you do have to be present in the chat. The Scoop Troop, we'll take that too. That's fine. We're gonna give them a few more minutes because I just posted on Instagram and the Twitter bird that
We've gotten good at our 2-hour time limit.
yeah, like I
This is the
said,
first one you haven't finished in a long, long time.
yeah, I
did a lot before.
figured that I wouldn't finish this one, but
The kind of work you did before that to even get to
it's
that.
getting there. So maybe you can see it all full now. So, but
Holly, your mom is good.
it's enjoying it.
All right, Rachel. Thank you.
I hope that Holly's mom wins it
If Holly's
and then
mom-
keeps it for herself and doesn't give it to you.
If Holly's mom wins,
Okay, buddy, that's enough.
Holly can't have it. If we see it, we have to redraw.
Let me
Or you have to let me use your pool.
pull something up real quick.
Look, we just got to patch my.
Brad Cam. Here you go, Brad.
What's
We'll
that?
put it back down there
All
just
right.
while we're.
But the
Doing the final draw.
one you're winning, not the one underneath.
Are we doing the drawing now?
We will in just a few minutes. So, hey, you're good, Sneaky Raccoon. The fact that you're here means a lot.
We got your name in here.
Yep, your name's in. So,
Says Mr.
thanks,
Raccoon.
man. I appreciate it. Yeah, we'll give it a. I know it's about to be 9 o'clock. We'll give it a few more minutes, and then we'll have Mrs. Scoot draw the winner.
Y'all are lurking in the hallway.
Oh God.
Come say hi.
The whole. Oh, hold on. I got the.
Hold
Oh,
on. he's got
let me pull down the Brad Cam.
We have. Wait, come say hi. We have the family here
There's
today.
been running in and out.
birthday.
The whole family here for.
Sisters-in-laws. They're the sister-in-laws. Annie and I are dying alone.
Yeah,
Uh,
okay. We're the cool aunt people. Cool single aunt.
Uh,
Brad's cooler than me. Just so
And
y'all
then,
know.
oh
Yeah.
man, we need to get Horse Sister on the screen.
Horse sister.
It's easier. No one, if I say this is Misty, this is Annie, this is Bear, this is Scoot, no one's gonna remember all their names. But like Horse Sister, and they remember.
So-
They're
that.
like, oh, the older ones.
While we're
Aaron says
waiting,
3 a.m. You must be lonely.
while Brad, while we're waiting, Brad kind of hinted at it, but one of the streams we're gonna hopefully do soon, will have a theme to it, and we're actually gonna do it at a different time, so that our friends overseas would be able to not have to stay up till 3 and 4 a.m. to tune in. So
Okay.
we heard my mom's screaming from the other room. Mother is in there.
She said she's not getting up. Y'all aren't cool enough.
Aaron, we're gonna finish that stream, and it's gonna be like 8 o'clock for him, and he's not gonna know what to do. His body's gonna think it's 3. We're gonna throw off his entire circadian.
You're gonna see Brad and I are gonna be.
rhythm.
It'll be like afternoon for Aaron, and me and Brad are just like, hey, what's up?
Dude, 'cause
Sophie.
Hey.
Normally that's when I do my long fast walking because I can't sit on.
If I bring y'all pizza again.
Yeah, I love some pizza.
Well, actually,
Uh-huh.
that's Abby. This is not a room big enough for everybody.
We literally have all 3 of our dogs in here. So.
And a lot of bodies.
So
It
There's
got
Mom.
deep and
There's
warm
Mother.
in here.
It did, yeah. It got deep in here fast.
Brad.
Don't do that.
All right,
Drive home.
all right, guys. Let's go ahead and
Oh my gosh.
let's see. Oops.
Oh my God, the dogs.
Hey, I want to be.
Jose, if you're still in there, I did get your message here.
He was hanging around still. Not
Yeah. Cool. Got your message. We'll get that out to you sometime next week, probably.
She said that you said nobody's like Bagley, and then you draw that.
Well, mine's heavily inspired by Bagley. So.
Yeah.
All right, we want to go ahead and do a winner. Go ahead and do a winner. Yank, yank off the cap head.
Brad's got to make sure it's taped to the
Aaron's is the one that's torn in half.
That last time, like a joke, is like I just tape it to the bottom of the barrel.
All right, here we go, guys.
Folded. You just had the post-it notes.
All right.
Part down.
Holly Bach?
Ha! Ha!
Holly,
Huh?
for mom?
No, that's for her.
Holly, you got it.
Holly won.
You got it.
Holly won.
Poor Aaron.
Wow. Good job, Holly.
Yeah.
Well, you don't have to mail that.
Aaron is the Tommy Dreamer of this. He's never the champion.
Yeah.
Aaron, someday you're gonna win something.
So, Holly, this will be going to you. So,
The last name threw me off because I didn't know the last
yeah,
name.
that's our last name.
I was like, Bob.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's Bob is her.
Congratulations.
So, congratulations, Holly. Holly's been a supporter of ours for a while, so we appreciate it.
My cosplay.
She's one of Annie's cosplay buddies. They do good stuff. Actually, if you go to Instagram, you can follow her at how she has her name spelled there. The Hunter chick, the Hunt 3R Chill One. Yeah.
I think it's a.
I always thought it was like Hunter Shaker.
It is therapy of my brother being
Oh,
It's
what's so funny? I made a fool of myself.
Yes, you did. All right.
preserved for all time.
Well, Holly,
I'm
I'm
be super with 2 P's.
super with 2 P's.
Oh my God.
So
Annie can bring you this when you know what? I'm over here crying. So like I didn't have to ship it.
yeah, yay!
Probably wasn't shipped just because.
Actually, I fronted the money for this one. Yeah,
I replace it.
yeah, you did. So yeah, let me bring down the Brad cam so you can see Brad's magnificent face again.
Oh my gosh.
So
Probably bright red.
congratulations, Holly. Congratulations to Jose and to Ryan.
Oh, Ryan. Excuse me,
Yeah,
not David.
Ryan for our 3 wins tonight. So we've done giveaways last stream and this stream. So next stream probably won't give anything away. So we're just gonna draw next week. So yeah, I mean yeah, cool. Thanks for everybody for tuning in and entering. It's super cool. I like giving stuff away. You drive yourself out here.
You have to come claim in the next 2 hours or
Yeah,
something.
yeah. If you're not here in the next 2 hours, it goes to not Aaron.
It'll finally go to Aaron.
We'll send it to Hayashi. Just
Yeah, we'll send it to Hayashi. All right. Cool. You got anything else, Brad?
No.
It's been a good 30 years for Carnage. It's been fun to do the episode about Carnage, even though I didn't get to talk a lot about him because I get focused in drawing. But Carnage is one of my favorites because he's red. I love red. So there's that. My microphone's red, just like Carnage.
Your couch is red.
My couch is red. Darth Vader's lightsaber is red. My hair used to be red. We love red here.
Russell's lightsaber's red.
Oh, God. Okay, now it's time to go. So yeah, do the stuff. Follow me and Brad in the places that we lurk, and join us next time. I don't know what next stream's theme is gonna be. We haven't really talked about it.
No, we've got a few ideas.
We have a few ideas. Plus, we may have a cool announcement as far as our creator-owned B-movie saga book
yes.
to announce pretty soon, which is awesome. So stay tuned for that. Happy birthday to Andrea. Thanks for joining us. That's her hand back there.
Now instead of the couch.
Yep, yeah, my hair was red, Stinky Raccoon.
I still have pictures when it was red and purple.
I didn't know him when his.
I still wish it was red.
That was
I know.
When I quit my job, it's going to be red again, so be ready.
I redid mine blue yesterday.
All right, that's all I got, guys. We'll let you know what the next stream's going to look like, and we won't be giving something away. But I hope you still show up. But until next week,
Yeah.
throw it up. Bye, guys.